Nice engage. I mean, Zealot, that's an easy knockout for a Moltres in that position. Big Mac, you know, did get some vision. They'll be back in time.
All right, we're live with the Pokemon Unite North American International Competition here, day one. We are rooting for Evil Geniuses, guys. They'll be on. They're the next game. So we're checking out, right now it's Root Dignitas and All In. And after this is the Evil Geniuses match.
Straight for the rip into the middle. Rings are unbound. We're in the middle. The Anon is looking for somebody to hit, but they're going to get fucked with Rayquaza's there. It's on the Razor.
Hey, the Greninja got... Oh, no! Who got the last hit? I didn't see. Oh, the Greninja got the Rayquaza with the last hit. I think Dignitas probably going to take this one away. They're up. Oh my gosh, they're up 240 points right now.
Ready for the secure, looking for the KOs. It does feel like they weren't stressed at all about the play that all.
Oh my gosh, they're running away with it now.
This is an absolute massive victory for them here in game one at Ray, especially without this.
So I believe it, yeah, best of 3.
Even with a minute and a half left,
oh, I got a
can't
co-string.
That's
what I got.
Dignitas could lose this now.
I was like, wait a second.
They're just going to get those last dinky points in, right? Pockets are pretty light.
Let me refresh, and then I should be able to co-stream. There we go. The question is the audio... Do I need to play the audio? There we go.
Since they played a good game, they could
I think that's right.
be a team that could beat Dignitas.
I haven't co-streamed before, so this is new, but we're trying it out.
They were constantly stressing the map, putting pressure on Dig. I don't know if they ever really felt it. It seemed like Dig was completely calm, cool,
now I
collected,
think,
in control of that match.
There we go.
I'm trying to think.
Hello,
I don't
hello.
think there was a particular
Savage.
moment, right? I think All In was finding quality opportunities. This only exception being when Anon went in.
The Evil Geniuses Twitch account is in the chat. Let's go.
Whatever it was. That was like the first time it felt like they weren't on the same page, right?
I need my Evil Geniuses jersey to wear.
That they were behind on experience, but
that's on the way.
Opportunities to claw themselves back in the game. But that one specifically.
So Dignitas ran away with this first game in their best of 3 here against All In.
The moment Root Dig got Anon down, they flooded the central area and then grabbed all their wild Pokemon as a team. And all of a sudden, what turned into be an engagement that didn't quite work out ended up developing
that was a massacre.
Way worse.
Yeah, there you have it. Root Dig here. Massive victory.
Will said, I need a Coop Evil Geniuses jersey. I'm begging. New merch? Question mark?
It's one of those interesting things when you're a team like Root Dignitas.
How's the audio? I mean, obviously, you hear the announcers.
Good, but
once I get better at understanding in the future, maybe I can talk through what's going on, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of flair and let the actual commentators talk through what's happening.
The other way, and they found success here as we are going straight into our Rayquaza. Our Articuno was caught, uses their Unite move, and Anon was trying to get in the middle. You see them use their Unite move there, go over the wall.
All I know is Moltres is like the best Pokemon in the game right now, and so I'm surprised that it didn't get banned.
Just get nuked by Root Dig because they were still playing on the perimeter.
Player of the game here, we have Toon from Root Dignitas. You know, honestly, I think it could have been anyone on their squad there. Otter had the incredible snipes throughout that
6
game.
knockouts,
Zealot,
6, 2, and 8.
Out of his mind there on Moltres.
Took 30,000 damage, dealt 53,000
damage. Same thing with
damage.
Zugrug really protecting the team there. Just an incredible one for Root Dig. 6 KOs, only going
I can
down
turn them
2
up a little bit,
times,
hold on.
8 assists for Toon.
One thing that stood out to me there, Cowboy, is Anon. 2 knockouts, 4 times they got.
Where's the Gyarados representation? Mega Gyarados is pretty
that's why they pay us for this deep
pretty popular too, from what I've seen.
Not ideal. If you're going to be the
Well, we've got some
carry, you want
downtime
those
too. I've got some
numbers.
packs I can open. I've got some
4
gem
knockouts,
mint
2
packs.
times you got knocked out yourself. They need to think about that.
Yeah, I just think
We'll get that working later.
Zoroark is one of those Pokemon that obviously they had some nice moments with it, no question. Sure. But
oh, I like the
one of
heat
those
map.
Pokemon
That's cool.
That feels like if it has a Comfey in the hands of the right player, it's a 10 out of 10. And if it doesn't, man, it needs a massive level lead, right? But even with
what up, Fuzzy?
Good.
Good to see you, man.
I wonder if they have something else, another pick. I just don't think it's it in a situation like this. As we're seeing Toon, about as happy as I've ever seen him.
The person to
if
smile
my
ratio between
YouTube
Toon
one
and
is
Zugrug
up too. Yeah.
in the floor.
Yeah, if you look at their smile ratio, their frown ratio is through the roof. Like, those two guys, I mean, they could frown you for days. But I've actually seen, I'll tell you, on Root Dignitas, I feel like I've seen Zugrug come alive more than I've ever seen him, obviously playing with some of his best friends, people he came into this game with.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, so the question is going to be, is All In going to be able to pull a game out, or is it going to be a 2-0 sweep?
This is one of the, it's a makeup of some of the first competitive Unite players that I ever saw in this game, right when Unite started. So it's really cool to see them back together and doing this well.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. You know, we
Henry.
poke fun, and
Oh my
it's
gosh,
only 'cause
Henry.
we feel like we can because we've known these guys for so long, and we've had the pleasure to watch them so long. And there's a reason they're still here. It's because they're so good.
They're that good, yeah, and we're going to see what All In can do about it. This is a squad of, again, known players in North America. They had a great match into Dignitas. I can tell you there are a lot of teams that would not have played into them that well. We're going to see how they want to handle game 2.
Maybe I should start streaming Unite. I've been so into champions lately. Oh my gosh, this shirt makes me look so pale. Plus I have my lights on. Nice. Should I hide in the dark and not look so bright and pale?
Ready here, our bands, Moltres, Blissey.
This is why I don't wear dark shirts usually, because this is what I...
Wow! On the other side, banning out the Espeon Compe once again.
Oh my
Snorlax,
God.
and now that first
Crazy.
pick to All In, they could consider this Machamp.
Yeah, the thing they banned.
Someone posted on an old short with Henry in it, and the comment was, "Dang, Henry is so fine."
I
was gonna screenshot and send it to you, but I can just tell you.
No question about it. I think their Hoopa was
18 months.
incredible,
Henry has now been subbed to the Twitch. 18 months. Says, look at this professional evil genius partner. Good to see you, man. Thanks so much.
It really doesn't feel like you can go too wrong with a lot of the stuff you're bringing into these matches here. Obviously, Zealot doesn't get Moltres. Snatches up.
Yeah, I mean, all the roles are, so you got jungler, top lane, bottom lane, support, basically 8, you know, carries, ranged carry, tanks.
See if they end up picking it. Wow, the little gentleman, Sableye.
Sableye. Sabeleye's a menace in Champions. Let's see if he's a menace in Unite as well.
Cut of that jib. Meanwhile, Otter hovering, Latios switching off, Toon going through the Rolodex here. We'll see where they end up. I can't believe I didn't say Pokedex. I can't believe I said Rolodex instead of Pokedex.
Is that where they got it from? Probably not.
Gotta be.
Duraludon?
Right? What's older, the Pokedex or a Rolodex?
Yeah, production, can you figure out
production?
if the
Stats
Rolodex
team?
Existed before 1999?
Excuse me, stats team? Can you go ahead and tell us when the
We do see the
Rolodex was
Moltres ban this time.
Thank you so
Duraludon,
much.
we did it.
We got the Duraludon and we got a Dodrio. This team from All In.
Duraludon, another
truly
great
is,
Pokemon in Champions right now.
In your face. It's
Ooh,
wild.
Metagross.
It has
Let's go.
A crazy amount of range damage in Duraludon. It has one of the most annoying Pokemon in the entire game in Sableye. An absolute monster of a disruptor in Machamp. Not a defender.
Sableye's annoying in this game too. Classic.
Wait, as we have our final pick for Dignitas, they're bringing out that Metagross.
I am so
Yeah, everything is, it's day 1 of NAIC, so it's TCG, VGC, Pokemon Go, and Unite.
But it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe, right? But there is something to be said about playing Pokemon that your opponents don't practice against too much.
Why does only Tie-Dye have a photo on the All-In team? Everyone else just has blanks.
Shield on it, so it could make some massive
No
play.
professional photos?
Float Stone, which leads me to believe it'll probably be in
EG
the
team's
area
next,
of Root Dignitas,
after this match.
And it is a frustrating thing to shut down in there. Meanwhile, you got Dodrio with the drive-by throughout the match, right? Just have the
It's a rolling start, so I just want to make sure I was live. Because if this match ends early, then Evil Geniuses will play next.
Skirmishes throughout. We're going to see how Dignitas deals with that as we get ready.
Am I going to Worlds?
for
I'm
our
not. I'm
Groudon
not going to
map
Worlds.
Here. Of course, Thea Sky Ruins, once again, our battlefield. All in, your purple team. Root Dignitas,
Nice little
your
Machop.
orange team. Game number 2 here.
So some Pokemon have to evolve,
For
for anyone who doesn't know. So like the Machamp pick starts as a Machop.
And running downstairs.
Same with the Dodrio, starts his Doduo.
Please put the statistic of the Rolodex on screen for us, because if I say it, they won't believe it.
Yeah, here we go. Nice big-time KO. Machamp using the eject button right there. It's still Machop, of course, to make sure that it could get that berry and survive before getting taken
It's funny
out
to see
by
the
Hinder.
skins
We
for
have
the
an
champions.
attempt
Like, look at the
secure their
Psyduck
Hinder
skin.
with a nice final hit.
Yeah, exactly what you'd expect
Same
out of a
with
player of
Doduo.
that caliber. Anon trying to reset here, just a little Doduo. Zugrug putting a lot of pressure on. Elo Poppy getting pressured as well. They're knocked out. The K opener going to all in. Good response from Root Dig.
Yeah, nice stuff from Root Dig right here. Obviously, they were, you know, they
The
tried
little
to get punished
Beldum.
a little bit. I think the Sable I noticed
Similarly to
immediately,
League of
Zashi in the
Legends,
center. I don't think I'm going to be
whoever
able
gets
to
the
outsecure
last
that.
hit
It's gonna
gets
rip
the,
through me. So they make their way to the bottom path there.
gets the
I love
experience
to
and
see the
stuff.
play as we
So you
have
can kinda
Otter trying
compete
to peel back
for
right here. A big miss
mobs.
there for Tie-Dye.
That's going to be all right, though, because Tie-Dye's going to walk away. No, walks right into a death knell there from Root Dig.
Taking out the
Zugrug
Sableye.
collapsing on top of their head. Now, All In has quite a few Stage 2 Pokemon going here. And by be quite a few, I mean one. Way to go, Kirk. But the fact that it's still a Machop is tough, because that's essentially slotting in their tank role.
Yeah, and you know, one is more than
Yeah, I
zero.
don't have another
That's
local show
quite
till
a few
August.
If you're comparing it to nothing, right? As we
I
have,
appreciate that.
yeah, no problem.
Phil just
That was
grinds,
bad.
man.
As we have
He doesn't take any
Zashi
breaks.
in here taking all the experience they can from the side.
I don't know how he does
All in.
it.
Zugrug has just been pestering that central area, something we expected, of course.
Was that a
out
Captain
of the
Pikachu skin? It looks like
Sableye.
a
It
Captain's
looks
hat
like
on.
Articuno is doing that job very well. Here to the top path, Tie-Dye disrupting them a little bit. The Captain Pikachu.
It is
not able to
Captain
shut them
Pikachu.
down.
You know, between Elo and...
So the Zacian level,
Big Mac on the champ,
level 7
they're
compared to
having-
level 5s
obviously
across the
that's
board
gonna
for
be their
All In.
support core, right? They're trying
Level
to
8
get
on the
themselves
Zacian. Dang, he's
opportunities
cruising,
for this
dude.
Duraludon Dodrio to really get in and put work, but it hasn't quite materialized yet. All In moving pretty disjointed, despite how well they move
Time
together.
for the Reggie
Look at
Drago.
Zealot right here. Biggest thing on the map, looking for their secure, getting picked
Should
off.
give him buff.
That's the kind of plays we were
Alright,
talking about, though, early. If they can
The Matang
continue
got the
to
last
make
hit
those
on it.
skirmish plays, move in, huge amounts of damage, shut down, and then peel away, that could be big for All In. However, Root Dig handling them so far in this match.
Yeah, a pretty decent look. Zugrug and Otter going to be scoring this bottom path.
The Articuno's skill it was using reminded me of Anivia
Plus 23
from
on
League.
that goal zone.
And now we're heading to the bottom path here. Easy, simple objective.
Look how shiny that Psyduck is.
Dignitas. No one from All In. anywhere
Reggie
near
Ice.
it, As we have 3 members of All In. The top path, they are looking for that Reggie Alecki, and they are going to take it.
So they got the
Zugrug
Reg
now
Ice
pressuring
buff,
Big Mac,
which
who's in the
is
center,
looks
trying
like
to
they
to
get their
final
HP
evolution,
regens
get those extra
quickly
few
over a
hours
short
going,
amount of time.
and become a champion here. As the
I'm a
rest
champion.
of Root Dig is stressing the goal zones, despite the fact that the Sableye with the goal getter.
Man, still a big level
the
lead on
score sheet, excuse me,
the
is on
Dignitas
All
side.
In.
And now we have the Sableye Dodrio.
Duraludon's
running
on
to the
level
bottom path
7.
here. They're going to try to make something happen.
Good Mewtwo Unite.
Yeah, good Mewtwo Unite. If only it caught the Dodrio as well, but you know what? It didn't matter. Compute and Crash picks up that KO for Root Dignitas. They are marching towards this Tier 2, but they also can peel towards the still available Tier 1 on the side of All In.
It's funny, it feels like Dignitas is running away with this, but the score right now, pretty even.
So All In, obviously, we kind of see the thought process behind their strategy, right? When they got the knockout on Zealot, the Zacian in the top half.
I bet Evil
haven't
Geniuses
been
would
able
teach me how to play
replicate that
Unite.
Since, and now they're just kind of
They're going to
losing
Worlds. They already
bodies
earned their
left and
world
right
spot.
because they're so small
So
to
there's
take
one
the 10.
world spot
Tie-Dye
left
just trying to get vision,
that is going to be
realizing
earned
that's gonna
during
be an
this
absolute blender.
competition.
Zugrug with that
But
big
Evil Geniuses has already
Articuno
got their
round-
world spot, I
a
believe.
wave around it is going to gobble up the Sableye pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, the Sableye really can't engage with it too well without entering that blizzard, as we have Sableye trying to make their way to the center, get some information for the team. All In.
Do people like the
looking to take a fight here.
WR
They need to
slabs? I don't know
win.
what that is.
Articuno, the fact that they just put the big iceberg down on the goal zone just because they
Yo,
could.
Metagross
They're
going
gonna take a
ham.
quick knockout on Dodrio. Zealot did go down the other way, and the Duraludon's trying to put pressure, but it's Zugrug taking over. I mean, you're just looking at this.
Yeah, Articuno's who's getting all the
it's
kills.
So impressive.
It really is. They're using it so well on the side of Dig. You know, I was wondering how much of it we're going to see. This is the first time seeing it in competition here in the West, and it looks like Articuno, a powerful pick for Dignitas, and it really allows Zugrug to play a role that I don't see them on that much, which is
I think that, I'm assuming that was like a
very
defensive,
take
like the
away,
locking down the being able to
experience
score with
and
that
take away
ice
the
maybe.
map style of defender Normally I see
got
him on
the
more
Reg Ice buff
playmaker
again.
defenders, you know, things like
Oh yeah, I'm
crossbow,
assuming they have to
like
take the
all
ice out before they can
But
score.
this is a really aggressive Zugrug. I love it.
That move
Yeah,
looks
not
exactly
only
like a
aggressive,
Nivea's
but
ult.
Using their Unite move tactfully, right? They put the iceberg down on that goal zone. We just saw it. And
Yeah, the
because of
iceberg
that,
on the
they're
goal-
able to
the
defend
goal
it
zone.
2v1 in the face of all in. Now Root Dig getting some points back the other way. The pressure continues. Duraludon with that cannon.
Evil Geniuses just has
melting
Unite and
Root Dig, and
Valorant
that's
right
a
now.
great exchange for them. An opportunity
As far as
to
I'm
score
aware.
is on the table.
Yeah, this is really nice for all in, and we saw once again these plays that we talk about right here.
I don't
where
know
they're
if
able to
any
disrupt them.
VGC
Look
people
how
are sponsored by
much
teams or
time
not.
they were
It seems
able
like a
to
solo
have
thing,
the
but I don't know.
riddle damage into that Articuno because of the disruption of the Sableye and the Pikachu, and that's what all in's looking for. You pair that with Dodrio moving in for a big time
Valorant stream win.
and that's how they're picking up.
Hey,
these
maybe.
KOs, but can they
Maybe
make
Evil
it
Geniuses will
happen
teach me how to
more?
play Valorant
The
too.
problem is, to me right now, is the Duraludon's only level 10. If it was a level 12 in that little foray, I mean, Articuno's gone. Zugrug gets absolutely pummeled, especially after the combination with the Pikachu and the Sableye.
Yeah.
But because they're so far behind on levels, their plan is now not strong enough to actually
There's
get
Articuno.
knockouts.
Yeah,
Rip.
I mean, it is tough, right? The longer you can keep this Duraludon around doing damage, the better. But you're right, if this was a level 13 right now, it would be a lot easier as they're moving in the compute and crash looking for Dodrio here. And they
And the
do
Mewtwo
go
just sitting in the
down.
back.
Yeah,
Oh,
wow, once
they
again,
got him.
another player down.
Great.
This is what they're looking for from all in. These huge plays. They're shutting them down with the Volt Tackle, and they're letting Azmat just, you know, destroy them with these flash cannons.
Yeah, they were able to flank Root Dig
That
really
Articuno
well.
skill is
The
pretty
Pikachu
interesting, being
crashed
able to
right
lock
in, but
down
what it
the
actually
goal
did is
zone.
isolated two players of Root
This
Dig
game has
in
been, it felt
between
like a
the
lot
sandwich.
closer
That was
than the first
Pikachu,
game.
the
It felt like
Duraludon.
Dignitas ran
When,
away with it on the first game.
Duraludon was outside, Azmat was outside of that Rock Coliseum. That's almost free reign, and it was just shelling that damage in again with that cannon.
Henry, didn't you
And
play
Duraludon,
professional
you said it
Valorant or
got a buff.
something?
It's looking pretty solid in these moments, and now that it's level 12, it's got a real opportunity to do some damage.
Yeah, it does. Between its Unite move, the shutdown from multiple members, the huge amount of stuns, the reposition from a champ,
I'm making
the
that assumption that the
tackle on
Unite
Pikachu,
moves are basically
you
just
can
their
see
ults.
multiple members of Dig get
I'm
leveled
relating
here.
everything to my League of
However,
Legends knowledge
this is
at
also
this
the kind
point.
of Pokemon that wants to flip and rip our objective, which is going to be Groudon here in just
All right,
15
Groudon
seconds.
spawning.
Root Dignitas
The
in
Baron
control,
Nashor
but
of the
this
map,
match very close
if you
here.
will.
Zugrug getting caught.
Tons of damage. They get suplexed. They're on 0. They use their Unite move.
Oh,
Get the
it's still
shield
alive.
back.
Articuno's still
Everyone
alive.
is down.
Oh,
Pikachu crashes
he's down.
well. There goes Zugrug.
I didn't- I- that-
The champ is
the
gone
Groudon's
as well.
up.
The rip is going to start by Root Dig. They don't want to give the chance for all in. Here comes Elo Poppy. E-balls to
Zashin got the
Secure
last
by
hit.
Zealot. And now all of Root Dignitas is seeing the writing on the wall, and they are going to say, all in, too bad. Give me those chips.
Big
right.
play there from Root.
So
Dig.
let's
The thing
see
I
how
absolutely
quickly
love
the
about
score
what they did
changes.
Is they took the fight. They
Right,
got a
so it was
KO, they see
10
they
points
pushed
o-
All
10
In
points
away, and they
difference.
recognized that All In could go for a rip, and they said, no, that's okay. We'll just rip
Yeah,
it
now they're
right
just gonna
here,
run away
right
with
now,
it.
take it in
So it's
front
gonna
of
be a
your face.
2-0
We know
sweep, it
multiple members of
seems,
your team had
to
peel back.
Dignitas.
The aggression from Dignitas right there to know that they can finish the game. Very impressive. It's why they're one of the best in the world.
And now, Root Dig calculating their opportunities here. We see the Articuno Glaciers are down on the 2-goal zone. It's going to make it even harder for All In to move forward and try and counter score here.
It's crazy.
Being
One
down
or two
260
team
points,
fights,
which
man,
is
make all the
theoretically
difference.
manageable.
Being able to
Big
score.
Zacian Unite move, and that's 4 players down, chopped down very
Yeah.
quickly. Root Dignitas, well, it's all gas, no
GG.
bricks today.
Yeah, big stuff from Root Dig here. Amazing first set of the day.
Oof.
I think All In performed extremely well. I'm impressed. You could see them
It felt
hitting
so
K2,
close
but
leading
it's
up
all-
to
of
the,
course it's gonna be tricky. I don't think
the
a lot of
Groudon
teams are
fight.
going to be able to shut down Root Dignitas in this group.
Just shows
stage.
you how
So
important
it's
those
not
that fight
surprising to have
is.
a tough game against what could be a future world champion.
Yeah, All In, again, a good series of games, but it just shows that Root Dig, despite having moments where it's like, oh, the other team kind of has a chance here, they insulated themselves well. Like, even going into that final fight, if they were to lose Groudon, the fact that both exterior goal zones had
The one big difference is there was a pretty significant level differential. I feel like the whole game.
All In to go score was worth its weight in gold, and probably
Like, I
would've
think
bought them a reasonable
Dignitas
amount of
managed their
time to
experience a
respawn
lot
back
better,
in and be able to
which led them to be able to win
defend
those team
pretty
fights
effectively the
pretty
goal
well.
zones despite that.
All right, Dignitas with the 2-0 sweep against All In. All right, our boys, the EG gang, is up next.
From any potential shenanigans, and look at them, 2-0, off to the races.
Yeah, great start for Dignitas. You know, it's going to be a long weekend. Of course, they're looking to win this entire thing. They're looking to prove once again that they are one of the best, if not the best team in the world here, taking down All In to start our day. I don't think All In, if I were them, I would not feel too bad about that matchup. Of course, you want to win right there.
Are All In just wearing like generic play Pokemon T-shirts?
Absolutely see them in day 2.
Where's the All In jerseys?
Both of those teams are again, these are players that have been around the block for a very long time, and this is that computing crash where the Duraludon and Pikachu got to sandwich everybody on Route Dig into their own.
It's crazy to see the similarities, like the Metagross that he made like a ring of Earth. That's like a Jarvan ultimate, like that. You can't like get through it.
With Machamp going down, Dignitas said, "That's fine. We're gonna take this right now."
Dang, they weren't even able to really pressure the Groudon fight there.
The Pikachu Unite move is too late and gets almost no.
They try to go for the steal, but
I love when a team takes the win there. Big play from Dignitas, impressive victory.
Yep, very well done. That's what you expect out of them. But you said it multiple times, and I
Hey Glitter, how you doing?
All In had a great game, and I think that's a pretty exciting place to
man,
start.
the Mewtwo Y 10 knockouts, 10, 3, and 8.
Yeah, and we have 2 Pokemon that Otter couldn't pick up here, Mew and Espeon. Espeon banned out by Dignitas here. And still, we've got another option, Mewtwo Y, 10 knockouts from Otter. I gotta say,
crazy.
I saw Otter, I saw how much they were doing throughout this match. I did not recognize that they got 10 knockouts.
Message to friend, Pokemon Unite just low with Pokemon? Yeah.
At the end there,
it's a MOBA. A much smaller map, though, compared to League.
For chase down as well.
Very condensed.
Shots that it provides, and Otter is the king.
I'm doing well,
spacing,
Glitter.
right?
Appreciate you asking.
Seems to be right on the periphery, right out of danger, but always getting maximum value from their own moves.
Taking a look at the damage here on All In, you can see exactly what we talked about here. The Dodrio, 14,000. The Sableye actually more at 16,000. The Machamp at 14,000. They are not looking to take big fights. All of their damage.
I'm assuming
really
the percent breakdown here
single KO, or,
is like
these
across the whole team. All right, it's gone.
Get more and more.
But again, like the heat map, team battles 13, 18 wild Pokemon, average experience per minute.
Stat distribution here. That's where Otter was living, and that's
it's really the big difference between League is like in League you're farming gold to buy items. It seems like here you're just farming experience.
Yeah, I mean, of
because
course,
you choose
the work on the side
your
of
items and
Dig
your
with all
skills
5 players. I think you can give them all credit for
ahead of
delivering on
time.
their responsibilities. But right now, we've got an interview on stage. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Soup Snacks. Got an interview. It is, in fact, an interview.
So this is in New
Orleans. I'm
Orleans,
here with
chat.
Root Dignitas' Inder after a very solid start to the tournament already, a big one. Inder,
thank you,
how
Grace.
good
I
does it
appreciate
feel to be
that.
back on the
Happy
NAIC
Friday.
stage? I know you've won here already. A lot of your team has. I think Toon, maybe the only one without a championship at NAIC. Does Toon really want this one?
Toon wants all of them, so yes, that's for sure.
Okay, got it. So making sure to add this trophy to that case as well. Seeing the metagame has been really exciting, right? Because we've had a little bit of a break from a lot of major competitions here in the West. We haven't seen a lot of new Pokemon releases that are competitively available now. Curious about your team's process for designing your own metagame. Is that all in your own team's practice, in your scrims, you're coming up with your own plans of attack, or is it a lot from watching other teams playing around the world?
Yeah, it's definitely a mix of both. What we like to do is we like to make tier lists of our individual players. Like, this is the Inder tier list, this is the Zealot tier list, so on and so forth. And then we come and combine those together. We use some references from the Eastern meta, watching our opponents. So it's a bit of a mix of everything, but we're obviously trying to innovate and stay ahead of the meta as well.
Okay, a lot of support to the top of the Inder tier list.
Yeah, I do wonder
that makes a lot of sense. Well,
how representative like Japanese meta is to North American meta. If it's very similar or not.
I mean, you got a booth upstairs.
I mean, that's then who you're competing
cool.
against at
How
Worlds.
much fun has it been to kind of see Dignitas and the working with the Pokemon organization here at the event?
No, it's been a great experience. Shout out to Root, one of our big sponsors with Dignitas. And having a booth, being able to spread the love that is Pokemon Unite esports is always a great joy. And Dignitas has been the forefront of that from the beginning of the season. Shout out to them.
That's a fancy
Awesome.
suit
Well,
that guy's
you're an
wearing.
Awesome team that is so fun to watch here live on stage. I know a lot of people
Very
are
shiny.
really excited to be watching you at home. So we'll see you later today. Good luck in the rest of the competition, Ender. And yeah, have a really fun NAIC. All right, back to the booth.
Back to the booth.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Zoinks for the interview. Of course, if he's here, you got to get him
Very,
on broadcast.
very New
Love
Orleans
Ender, love Dignitas.
attire.
Great start to the day for them. They are already, I'm sure, eyeing day 2 and probably Championship Sunday. I mean, they're looking for those trophies, of course. That's all Zugrug can think about. And Toon, looking for that first championship win at NAIC.
Crazy volumes of shade out of Zoinks right there.
And is Toon the only one who loses?
And everybody wins here, but Toon,
Yeah.
right? No, of course. With the team
Bring
that's
out
already
the
qualified for
geniuses.
Worlds, like
That's
we
what
think
we're all
there is
here
no
for.
other place to finish besides first. Get the trophies, get the money, and consider this season well wrapped and be able to prepare for the World Championships. Root Dig off to a great start, but all in, definitely a team I want to keep a finger on the pulse with, because I'm really impressed on how those 2 games went, and I think they're objectively closer than maybe the final score lines read.
Yeah, I totally
I want a
agree.
2-0. I want
We
to see a
have got
2-0
more
sweep for the
competition
geniuses.
coming
Let's
up.
go.
Do not go anywhere. We are going to take a short break, and when we're back, more Pokemon Unite here in our group stage at NAIC. The
Let's
final
go.
stretch, baby. Nice. We'll be right back.
Let's see how long their short break is. I don't know. Recaps from the last game. Replay. All right, I'm gonna pull up the. I was just talking about the Pokemon. Honestly, not a bad thing to see, because I don't know. Water Shield. What roll? All right, so it's a 4-minute. It's a 4-minute breather. All right, let me pull up the. You guys are. Let's pull up our team, chat. Let me pull them up. All right, chat. We've got Ducky, Roland, Kyrios, Vin Diesel, and Chris Smith. Kind of like Chris Smith. And Chris Smith. And then Pikachu is our substitute player. So Ducky, Defender. So I'll go through the roles as I know them so far. Defender is kind of like a tank. I watched some matches in the past. Snorlax was a big one. We'll see who Ducky's running for the tournament this time. Roland we've got on our support. So support obviously is a character that helps either heal or protect a carry, which is a person who does a lot of damage. So Kyrios, our ranged carry. So obviously someone who sits in the back, tries to do a lot of damage to help the team score. Vin Diesel's jungle. So you saw the center of the map, right? You've got a top lane, a bottom lane, and then this middle area. The middle area there's a lot of wild Pokemon, so Vin Diesel will be in the jungle trying to get a lot of experience, and then he can kind of gank our lanes, right? So as team fights start to break out, the jungler is able to move all over the map quickly to help kind of support the top and bottom lanes. And then Chris Smith, top carry, who sits in that top lane and tries to score, gets help from our jungler. And that's our team. That's what we'll be seeing play today, guys. So excited to watch our evil geniuses get some W's today, guys. Hey, bro, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So we'll be back in. Well, we're still here. We are here, chat. But the teams will be back in about 2.5 minutes to kick off. Evil geniuses versus No Sweat. I believe there's going to be some sweat. They're going to be sweating against our evil geniuses, guys. They're going to be sweating. Booger, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. And new Evil Geniuses merch, New Jersey. Check it out. Maybe we'll have a Coop branded one soon. They will, in fact, be. There will be sweat. They'll be sweating all right. I'm always curious when people come in with the bans. Because in League, a lot of times the bans are super, super targeted against the team. So I'll be curious if it's more generic bans about just like strong Pokemon, or if they'll target ban some of our geniuses here. And then we'll also be back later tonight. Evil Geniuses is going to be playing around 6:15 Eastern Time, which is 3:15 Pacific. So we'll be live for that final game of the day as well with Evil Geniuses. So excited to showcase what we can do here, chat. Hey, Breaker, thanks so much. I appreciate it. They quad banned someone? Man, they were scared. They were scared. Literally quad banning. I mean, that's one way to kind of take out one player from the team. Quad ban them? Holy moly. Yeah, for this last team fight, I mean, I feel like it was mainly the level differences because the score is so close down to the last 2 minutes. And then Dignitas just won a big team fight, got the Groudon, and just ran away with it. What up, Mewtwo?
And we've only just begun here at the North American International Championship 2026. Pokemon Unite only now one game through. So many more games to go to see who our final team to qualify for Worlds in San Francisco will be. Here in New Orleans, I am here, Wonder Chef, with Soph, and I'm so glad we get to cast together again. It's been a while since it's offline.
It does. It was Worlds last year, but it was amazing. We got some banger matches then. We're going to have some banger matches today, and that is exactly what I'm looking forward to. Because
they're banger.
Right now, Evil Geniuses. So if you're not aware, if you haven't watched really how the regional league did, right, Chef? We had Rudig, Evil Geniuses just dominating all throughout that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, they showed the crowds coming in earlier. It was insane, the amount of people.
Comfortable, but they are facing now no sweat. They have a very steep challenge ahead of them.
Yes, there's going to be a really interesting kind of like field of play, I feel, here at the NAIC this year, which is maybe one that we haven't really seen before, where there are always, of course, a lot of teams vying for those final spots at the final stretch. That's why we call it the final stretches. Of course, it's the last chance to qualify for Worlds. But there have never been this many Worlds qualified teams at one event. There also has never been a format that we've had in any other season that we had this season, right? So many teams we got a chance to see in the last chance qualifier put on some ridiculous work. They were so good, but that was really the only chance we got to see them the entire season, right? Yeah. And there are a few of these teams that we are going to get a chance to see over the course of this weekend. This No Sweat is a team that for sure has been playing as well in grassroots events, but again, I'm not quite as familiar with them. I do know there were a lot of like grassroots teams that kind of played or like mixed up some teams or some players, I should say. So we will get a chance to see kind of what they're bringing to the table, but we know a little bit more about Evil Geniuses.
Oh, we definitely do, and we know exactly.
Yeah, because they're the best team ever.
So powerful in so many regards.
Let's go.
And of course, being the team that throughout the season was rivaling against Root Dignitas in every single aspect, and considering that Root Dig was the LAAC champion, they did get that spot to ACL. They got 3rd or 4th place, if I'm not mistaken, at ACL finals. So they did do really well at that. And because Evil Geniuses throughout the season was rivaling just that, which we just watched with Root Dig versus All In, we can see that they are incredibly strong, of course, with their regular season record as well to match.
Heck yeah.
But I'm so interested to see, because we have in this format Rayquaza first map. always. And then we have loser picks the map on the side, right? Like we had in regular season. So Rayquaza being the first map, Chef, do you think there's anything in particular that we're going to be seeing today in regards to strategy?
Well, I do feel like we are going to see some more chaotic first games, right? So in the last set that we just got a chance to see, we got to see, I'm getting all the names mixed up already, but the team that went up against Root Dig.
All in.
All in, thank you, yeah. Oh, all right, you're good at this. I'm not. I'll figure it out one day, you know. But yeah, All in, they went super chaotic in the first game, right? They played multiple Pokemon that were able to really just kind of try to find a pick and then try to turn
I like his
into
blue
like
suit.
5v4. They played some speedster play with the Zeraora. They played a lot of really aggressive invasion play. So especially with the fact that there are so many teams that I think are set in stone. I'm not think they are set in stone as Worlds qualifiers already. I think that having Rayquaza as a first map is a
Yeah, I'm sure that takes a load off your mind when you're playing if you've already qualified for Worlds.
Really try to throw those teams off balance.
A little less
play some
stressful,
different
right?
comps, and we have such a wide meta right now. Right?
Where's my
I mean,
colorful suit?
ACL, not ACL,
I wish I don't
BCS,
even
the
own.
other
I mean, I
Japanese
own
tournament was
suits,
all-star
but they're all,
draft, and we had
you know, black and
great first picks the entire time
navy.
through.
Yeah, right, because just the availability of Pokemon.
I never
not
have
just
to wear
in
'em,
regards to them
which is
being
great.
available in the game, having been released, they're just very good all around. The pool is very wide. It's very.
I wore a
would
suit
say.
when I
And
vended one time when
very,
Will and I dressed up as the
just
Blues
variable.
Brothers for
You can
Halloween.
make such great choices
In
with different
Phoenix,
compositions. Like
Arizona.
I said, you could have something a little more aggressive, just going for dives. You could go full deny dives. The Articuno has been doing so well, and it's just amazing to get that control. We saw the 3 legendary
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
in one of the games that we watched from Dig and All In as well. And as you mentioned, with the idea of Rayquaza, right, for the first map, we saw with All In a pick, like you mentioned, with the Zoroark and Buzzwole, just trying, and Mamoswine, just trying to displace people and just get them isolated to get that 5v4 that you were mentioning. And at the same time, it's
Yeah, a
hard
lot of
to pull off
CC,
these
I'm
as
assuming,
well
to
when
kinda-
you know you're facing
sounds like
such
catch people
a
out.
just strong opponent like it was Dig, like it is Evil Geniuses right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's the attempt to do it, but they are, I mean, these players on some of these teams have been playing forever, right? They have been playing since season 1 of competitive, and so it's hard to sneak something in against them, you know? It's hard to find that moment where they're not paying attention because they're just basically always paying attention. But there are a lot of kind of big upset things happening here. Also, the fact that we very rarely have had an event where there are multiple new Pokemon available, right? And there are 3 new Pokemon available here, which is going to be Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and Articuno, and we haven't had a chance to see them since our last event. They were not legal. Some of them were out. There are even a few more Pokemon that are now out and not legal, which we should theoretically see at Worlds. But that's a pretty big.
That's always
shift,
interesting.
right? Like,
And the same thing would happen in
Articuno,
League.
do you
Like
think
they
we're
would
seeing
lock
other
the
two
roster in
I would say
for
so.
the
I think
tournament,
Typhlosion is
even
a
if
really good
Pokemon or
spot
even
here
if
in this,
champions
in
had
this
been
meta. I think
released.
From
There's
a
a regulation or basically a
during the regular
locked-in
season, they made an effort
availability
to bring
of
attackers in a more
Pokemon.
powerful way, and we saw them rising out pretty well. There was that point where we saw the Espeon pick just being so valuable.
I want to see some
Feraligatr.
Feraligator's the best, dude. He's my favorite starter. I
want
to see some Feraligators.
Ranged attacker and just having that extra bit of damage necessary to get the constant amount of damage in a team fight that sometimes is just what is needed when you're facing an opponent that can just manipulate the fight and strategize the fight so well because they know how to survive it, they know how to micromanage, how to position themselves. So if you can maintain that barrage of damage like constantly, and a Typhlosion does that really well, I would say it's something that could fit the meta in this tournament in particular.
Yeah, there are honestly quite a few different Pokemon that are really looking pretty good. I mean, there's the I'm not sure. Sorry, I think we were just told that we're going to be looking at one of them, but unfortunately I wasn't able to hear it. So we are going to be. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to look at basically from what these.
There he is, our boy.
Exactly right there. Yeah. So you know, I was talking to Kel about Feraligatr earlier. I know Kel's been playing a lot of Feraligatr. Of course,
She loves the jumpy boy.
Strong
yeah,
offense.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a fun Pokemon.
The goat.
This is the one that I mean, I could very much be wrong. Obviously, there's a lot to kind of see about the meta at the moment, but I kind of thought we were going to be seeing the most of Feraligatr out of the new Pokemon. Not an Articuno, not including that. Obviously, we're going to be seeing a ton of Articuno, but so far, we haven't had a chance to see Feraligatr. Have you been seeing anybody really play too much of this Pokemon, or have you had a chance to see it yourself? Because I haven't seen it as much. I mean, obviously, there hasn't been as much competitive that has allowed the new Pokemon. PJTS didn't allow the new Pokemon, and some of the regional finals I got a chance to see, and I did see a little bit of it, but it was only a few.
Yeah, it's a difficult time, and like you said, with the ban wide that you have for these Pokemon that have been released for a certain amount of time after they had been launched. So I would say, like, usually from my solo queue experience, it's just a Pokemon that can do really well, but it could be like a hit or miss.
Interesting that
you need to be
you
so
have different
close and to
skills
actually, like, have
based
that
off if
little
you've
bit of time.
evolved or
They
not.
can be read by the enemy as well when you're selecting the crunch, and what are you going to choose? What's going to be your course of action in that team fight in particular?
We got
What's going to
some,
be the stunts
like,
you choose to go
self-healing
for,
on
depending the
for
crunch you
Alligator.
choose. So I feel like it's something that requires a good communication with your team to allow for that time to actually enable for Alligator to do the damage that it does, and it does a lot of damage too.
Yeah, it does a ton. I mean, it's one of those Pokemon that when it pops off, it really pops off, and it's really fun to see. I actually kind of feel like that's the case with a lot of the new Pokemon that we've been getting. Just talking about Typhlosion as well, I kind of feel like a big pop-off Typhlosion is really fun because we just kind of dives that back line and just explodes everything, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, this is one. Big Jaw Bite, we were just talking about that. That's that Unite move, and I do think that we might see some for Alligator today. Honestly, I expect that all the new Pokemon we're going to be seeing, Articuno, like I said, probably the one that we.
So his ult scales off of how many times he's hit them with different crunch
Fun
effects.
play styles. I'm excited as well for the ones that we are going to get a chance to see a little bit later, like at Worlds. And I was warning this to Kello earlier. I keep saying Skeledirge and Typhlosion. I keep mixing up their names, even though I know which Pokemon is which.
I know.
I know which moveset is which. And just because they're both fire starter Pokemon, I like constantly just say the wrong name. So broadcast, I'm already calling it out. The moment that I do it, you know that I already said I would.
We have advertised it. We have warned.
Yes.
I have the same issue, but with for Alligator because they're both crocodiles.
Okay, yeah.
That's my thought process. I'm like, for Alligator, Skelegator.
Thank you so much.
Very sick.
That is kind of cool.
You've been
Maybe
Coop
we'll get
fluid.
them both on a team, and we could be like, yeah,
Well,
that's
welcome.
the
Glad you're here.
that we've been looking for.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And I'm so looking forward to that gameplay as well because it's so up my alley. Having that snipe ult, ooh, it's just very satisfying.
And the play that we're going to see as well, like the meta, obviously we talk about the new Pokemon, but there are so many Pokemon that are really, really viable right now. We had a chance to see, even within the last game, I feel like there were not a lot of huge repeats. I do feel like some of the bans are getting a little bit more locked in at the moment, but especially when we get to a situation like this, I think there's going to be a lot of character, or I should say, sorry, player-specific bans to try to target that out. And when you're, that's another big advantage.
You know why
when your team, for example, like
the
Evil Geniuses,
announcers
right,
here they're stalling for time because
going up against
No Sweat is
Evil
sweating
Geniuses,
so
you know
much
how
they had to go get
play, right?
extra
There's
towels
so much
to clean
footage
up.
out there of
Because they're
about
so
half the
nervous
teams
to
we have
face
here
Evil
at NAIC.
Geniuses, so
And the other half of the teams, there's very
They gotta
little.
stall.
There's some,
Yeah.
right? But
Understandable.
definitely not the
Understandable.
level of like, oh yeah, we can see how they play at NAIC, or sorry, EUIC. We got to see how they play at LAIC. We get to see how they play the entire season. We get to see how they play it. Some of them at ACL. Like it's just like, okay, yeah. Anything that you want to know about their strategies, about their play styles, you can figure it out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'd be nervous
And
if I had to
it's
face
a
off
case
against
where
Evil
when I was,
Geniuses. I
just
mean,
getting that study in.
just is what it
having
is.
4 teams in a NAIC that have
They got
already
that built-in
qualified for Worlds,
intimidate.
that is just like a different experience for them, and also an extra pressure for these teams that we have accounted for as we don't know that much about them. And that's the fun part about internationals anyway, because we're talking about an open tournament that can allow people to come in and just have that first experience, or just trying to consolidate their experience in general. So, and I would say that for these teams that have been established, like you said, there's a lot of footage. There is also like the second tier, I would say, of footage available, which would be the teams that have participated in LCQ, alongside the teams that have already participated as well in regionals. But LCQ is those teams that were like Rush Hour, for example, that we're going to be watching later. You know, these teams that have been proving that they have quite a lot in their tank and a lot of good read of these very well-established teams as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited for some of these teams coming up. Obviously, you just mentioned Rush Hour, formerly known as Brave Birders, quite a while ago. But of course, we're still setting up this first match. So if you're wondering why we're kind of yapping and waiting around, well, I'm sorry, I should say our second match, really. We're setting up the first game of our second.
We know why you're
It is
yapping.
our first match.
Yes, ours. Yes. I don't even know who the 2 guys before us casting were.
Who are those?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen them
Yeah,
before. Yeah,
they, yeah, not very.
Glorious, what's the
distinctive,
partnership with
which is
Evil
like a
Geniuses?
mustache or
So,
something. They don't have anything.
Their outfits
right
are
now
pretty
I'm
plain.
gonna be
like,
co-streaming
they're just blended in with the
when they're
crowd.
playing.
Yeah,
for the Pokemon Unite team, and then going to be making content with them.
No, of course.
And then who knows? We'll see kind of where we go from there. But yeah, right now it's streaming the matches, supporting them, and then yeah, I'm doing some dual content, maybe some merch. The world is our oyster.
I think a lot of offline first experience, I guess you could say, for a lot of these teams. Where again, I feel like we're going to be saying this a lot throughout the entire weekend. Is like some of these teams have played in person. I don't know. Like 30 times, right?
Yeah.
Evil Geniuses, all these
Worlds
players.
experiences, ICs experiences, so many of those LAN event experiences that are like the highest tier possible. ACL even is going to all the
Henry said,
East,
"Fine, I'll
and
take some
playing
free
in
merch."
Japan is just quite a lot in the tank, and it was such a pressure, right, for All In that played this first match with those casters that we.
Maybe I'll get the and Will's got some ideas
Big,
around. Maybe we get the Evil Geniuses team teach me how to play the games that they compete with.
Team versus a team that is usually just trying to get that experience and trying to understand how to face things. And at the same time, we know as well that
I'm raw clay, ready to be molded into a Pokemon Unite or Valorant champion.
A very interesting coach stuff. Like some of these teams that we talk, I think
this is what I can tell you what they're hearing in their headphones. They're hearing stall, stall, stall. No sweat. They just slipped on their own sweat. They're so nervous. Stall. Keep yapping.
Team in roster, but the coach just made them get to. They got the spot, right? Crazy feats, and I feel like that's what we're going to be getting here on NAIC.
There have been so many cool upsets. I'm not sure if we have it available, production, but I know that we're of course still waiting for this first match to get started.
The crowd is going. What's that? The crowd is going too crazy for Evil Geniuses right now.
I'd love to see that because that really is kind of setting.
People are fainting in excitement.
We're gonna get a chance to see that soon. Look at that! How quick they are! Shoutouts to production. We can see all the different teams now.
They're in New Orleans. They're throwing beads everywhere.
Be in San Francisco in about a month and a half, I think. I'm not good at math.
Bring them out. Bring out the geniuses.
Here, of course, EU with 4 spots, LATAM South with 2, LATAM North with 2, Brazil with 3, North America with 3.
So here's the world team. Here's everyone you're going to see at World so far. There's one spot left for Worlds, but our boys, EG, are already qualified and are headed to Worlds.
I believe there's 2 pages to this, but APAC teams we got a chance to see as well. Yeah, 4 APAC West teams, 2 APAC East teams, 2 from Korea. Zortargus Gaming, I'm really excited for that one. And then Japan with basically infinite qualifying spots because they earned them all by earning 2 at ACL and then having their 3 from PJCS. So Fennel and Reject, kind of the teams to.
I think I wonder if Japan's most represented. 5 Japanese teams.
Okay, so I would say, like I was mentioning, the LATAM North team I talked about.
I like that one team is just called a Reject.
Looking for org as name, so that is them. And I think that was super interesting to see them.
All right, so here's everyone trying to get the very last world spot.
Going to the world stage is like the biggest pressure that it could.
What name do I like the best out of all of these? Fluffy Tail Bandits, that's fun.
Like Tara Tigers at T1, I'm super excited to see.
Not enough tanks.
Speaking of Asia, we do have an Asian team in Deep
Pirates of the Sky Ruins
with our DS Lashcan.
Yeah, that is a team that I am very excited to see. They are, I mean, they've really had a rough path, I think you could say, throughout the whole season. They've been really close to qualifying, and they've been doing really well, but they've been just short. And it's some great players that we've seen before, and then, of course, Slash as well, who we should be pretty familiar with from previous seasons here in North America. But they've come all the way here to try to earn their final spot. There are a few other regions as well that have shown up to try and qualify. I mean,
is DreamHack, is that Brazil? Is that what the BR is? I'm assuming. That's the country code.
DreamHack's Aftermath. That's a nice little combo that they've got going on there, so they should be pretty exciting. We do have Tuzi as well, who is here.
Phil's probably cheering for them,
which is always going to be really fun to see.
Oh yeah, and like you said,
because Beard Dad's Brazilian.
They're playing in this event because Tuzi is already a team that has qualified for Worlds, but they are going to be playing today as well.
Hey, Last Asian, thank you for the Prime. Thank you for the 10 months, man. Appreciate all the support.
We have mostly NA teams here, so
guys, if you haven't used your Twitch Prime sub this month,
coming through with something
go ahead and drop that. Help me collect every Bezos book. We're trying to become the next trillionaire, just like Elon Musk launching SpaceX IPO.
And just the
am I watching soccer?
Because
nah.
last year we didn't have map selection, we didn't have any of that. So this year, this is like super fun for these teams that sometimes don't, of course.
I mean, I like
a
soccer.
league system.
I don't really
Didn't
watch it, though.
qualify to the league, but still want to play. They still want to prove themselves. They
Hey,
still
Pete, how you
wanna
doing, man?
Have the opportunity to be on stage and to have the experience of being in such a absolutely incredible competitive scene.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams within this list that have been putting in a lot of work in a lot of grassroots events, and some of them did really well in the Last Chance qualifier. Some teams that I'm looking at that I've seen around before, Fluffy Tail Bandits has some great players, and for fun, Goofy Goobers.
It's the
IX
World
Gaming,
Cup,
of
though.
course, was within the league,
Yeah.
just short of making
I mean, I didn't
it,
even watch the
as well,
Super
like
Bowl,
earlier.
so that tells you what you need to know
Who
about
else
me
was I
and
really looking
watching
at?
sports.
Not Enough Tanks is a team that was, I believe, one of the higher-ups.
We got all
in
the
Last Chance
sports we need
qualifier
right
we
here
had
on the
here
screen,
representing
chat.
today. So
I'm
a lot of
watching
teams that were
Evil
not in the
Geniuses
league and only
compete
in the Last Chance qualifier, they're kind of
this
the ones to
morning
look at,
and
I do
tonight.
feel like they have a chance
That's all.
to
That's all we
maybe
need to be watching.
Some upsets. I do think that they lost.
Not
to
even
two
Knicks
teams
versus
that were
Spurs?
here
Nope.
when They were in the Last Chance qualifier. I think it was.
If Evil Geniuses isn't playing, I'm not watching
Yeah.
it.
There was a lot of matches that happened then, right?
Extinction, Lunax, maybe that could have been the case.
Yeah, I think
on
that
LCQ.
may have ended up being it. And then, of course,
Yeah.
Rush Hour, which is the last one that I want to talk about. Actually,
Michael
no,
said
I'm
I'll
going to
make
talk
him
about
watch.
non-parametric Yeah, I'm going to say that correctly. That's going to be Muck's team, so I'm really excited for that. Of course, everybody loves Muck, one of the most beloved members, I would say. Of
Bring
the
him
community.
out. Bring
So,
him out.
Some great teams that we got a chance, or we're going to get a chance to see over the course of this weekend. And I would be surprised if there were no upsets. There's some great teams, but there's some great teams that I think people don't know quite as much about. And this is going to be a great time for them to all meet.
Oh, it will be. It will be. Like I said, with Rush Hour there, I'm very interested in the teams that were on region. For example, Citadel.
Is that a
Well,
big
on
pour
the
on top?
region,
You know, after you
great
said that, it made me
everywhere
look,
else,
but I think it's just
and they're
flowers.
still trying to get
It looks
that
like it's
spot
just
to
blue
go. So
flowers.
that is very significant as well. With IX as well, some of these teams just really trying to make it through, and that's an extra, I would say, fuel in general for all of the teams that feel like they can take that upset. But it's always so dependent on the group stage, right? Because who did you get paired with? And like we saw with Rudig first game, and now Evil Geniuses, whoever is on those teams that have already on those groups that have teams that have already qualified for Worlds. It's just so much to face.
Yeah, I mean, there are some opportunities where you could potentially get a little bit far into the single elimination bracket and still qualify for Worlds because there's so many qualified teams. But we are going to see one of those playing up against a non-qualified team very soon. So while we continue to get that match set up, we're going to go to a very short break. So don't go anywhere, because if you're an Evil Geniuses fan, you're going to want to stick around for this.
We're here. All right, another 4-minute break. Should we rip? Hold on, let me see if we can rip packs before while the timer's going. Let me see if I can get my droid cam running. Hold on, chat. There we go. Oh, there it is. Let me grab. I've got some Chinese gym packs, so let's just rip while we wait. Well, they're all in. Look at all these. Oh crap, it's like super sealed. If I had known that they were gonna yap so long, I would have been doing this sooner. Where's the cutter? Where's the cutter? Alright, what gym packs do I have? Whatever's closest. Here we go. Let's pull something good. We get to listen to the background music. The EG aura was too strong. It's so true. At least 2 no sweat teammates fainted. They gotta find their substitutes. They're scouring the crowd for people. That didn't open. All right, what's the hit from this box, chat? What are we chasing? Great question. I don't know. There's so few cards. Is this crazy? Like, the packs are so small. It's literally 4 cards. Bah! Nada. Yeah, Captain Pikachu. Captain Pikachu PSA 10 is like $1,000 now. So that would be crazy. Look at that sparkle. Horsey. Oh, there's Pikachu. Not the one we're looking for, though. Every single pack has a Master Ball in it. Crazy. Billion. Maybe we'll pull some Pokemon Unite Pokemon from these packs. It says they're back in 58 seconds, but we'll see if the match actually starts. Cerulege Master Ball. I like never opened Chinese packs, but there was this someone who reached out to me on Instagram and asked if he could send me. Hey, Milcery Art Rare. Damn Sunflora. Hey, Turtswip. Hey. All right.
Welcome back to the North American
We're
International
back.
Championships.
We'll
As
switch
we're gonna
over
be
once the game
going
starts.
through our second series of the group stage of Pokemon Unite in this 2026 International. I'm really interested, Chef, because we talked about quite a lot of things in regards
Only
to
I had like picture-in-picture
the
mode set
environment
up.
of this tournament. But I feel like maybe we should
We've
dive
only got, like,
into
4 more
Pokemon
packs left in this
specific
box.
things now. And of course, thank you so much for sticking with us through our technical issues.
Yes, yes, of course. Great way to, classic.
Oh,
way
we
to
had
start
technical
weekend, if we're
issues?
Being honest, this always how it goes.
I
but
think
gotta
we
go
had
out of the way. We have
Fear
all
of the
bad luck
Evil
out of the way
Genius
before
issues.
we get to all the juicy matches later on. So hopefully this does get
And
patched up a little
Kilowattrel.
bit.
I think this
quickly,
box
whatever's
is
going on.
busted.
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure, but we're all stuck together waiting in the meantime. So we're gonna all have fun talking about really yeah, like you were saying, the Pokemon specifics, right? Because there are going to be some very
Here, maybe
strong
I can
Pokemon
hold on.
in
Maybe
meta.
I can do
But again, it's
picture-in-picture.
really wide, right? So we got a chance to see for maybe people out there who haven't had a chance to watch as much Pokemon Unite recently, or don't get a chance to watch as much International Pokemon Unite. We got a chance to see Japan's finals recently, where they had a chance to play on All-Star Draft, which is a mode that is basically, if a Pokemon is being used, it can no longer be used in the rest of that set. And we do get some awesome replays
Window
from that right
capture.
here. Reject versus Fennel, the top 2 of ACL and PJCS. Don't get it confused. But this was a very long set that they got a chance to play in All-Star Draft, and you can see through every game of this set how strong the picks are. This is game 5.
Yeah.
So many Pokemon are gone.
We
right
are a
now.
genius at
Look how much stronger
OBS.
Oh, no, totally agreed. And I was going to mention, like, the Decidueye pick as well. That unfortunately just got completely obliterated by that pick with the side of Fennel. But I feel like that
Are
is one of
connections the best way to get packs from other countries?
that can be, like, niche
Unless you
but
find a
very useful
distributor.
because of
All right,
those
what a bust
later
of a box.
updates that
This is
we
all
got
we got in this
for,
box.
I think at the beginning
Womp,
of the regular
womp,
season
womp.
where we had the attackers just getting that buff overall, and I feel like the Decidueye is in a good spot.
I do too. I mean, we all had a chance to talk
And another one.
before this, the casters, and we were talking about who we thought were interesting Pokemon that were pretty important in the meta. And Decidueye won, especially watching how a lot of the Asian regions play. Both this, and then we got a chance to see ICE's team win their regional, and Decidueye was a really key part of that. So really, I'm curious as to how we're going to see any of these kind of sniper Pokemon being used.
Have you guys pulled anything good from the gym pack?
They just don't have a chance to ever.
I know it was super popular when the Eevee, there were the
Eevee
ones.
kind of how things ended
you
for
get like
that
the
tournament.
Umbreon.
Reject once again getting second to Fennel, by the way. Again, very close set, exactly like ACL, but Reject has just not quite been able to close out either of those. So we'll be seeing both these teams in Worlds in San Francisco. Great teams. We've already had a chance to see a lot.
Not a good
of them.
start.
Their rivalry will
The
continue, however. 3 teams
Vivillon
below them actually joining the Worlds roster because they were both. This is, by the way, one of the best pop-off moments.
That's
nice
amazing.
celebration.
I like
Maybe we can
It's
pop
just
off
so
like
much
that.
raw emotion. I
We
love
pulled
it.
a
It's
Pikachu.
incredible. Oh, Fennel just giving us just the greatest performance then. Like you said, it was such a close series in general, game 5. And we saw at the last few moments on final stretch, it wasn't just that it was close. The fact that we saw Reject getting Kyogre, getting a good push, and still not being enough because the lead that Fennel built was just that huge, considering that they had already 500 plus points. Fennel Reject was able to score around 300 more, but it didn't really quite close the gap.
You know, there's a
One of the best sets
Pavilion
probably in
card
Pokemon Unite history. If anybody hasn't had a chance to
that,
watch
based
that,
off the
was
language, is the
BJCS,
type of Pavilion,
grand
like the
finals
colors
that
and everything on
happened,
the.
it was like 2-3 weeks
on
ago,
the
something like that. I
wings.
don't know, time flies.
I don't remember
when
which
you're
card it
watching
is,
Pokemon
though.
Unite, but great stuff. And realistically, that is a really
Yeah,
good
based off the
sign
language,
kind of
like
what we're
Russian,
gonna see today.
Indonesian,
Again, some of the newer Pokemon were not
English
really in that tournament,
changed,
but we do get a
which
chance to
color
see
of
the
Pavilion
rest of
is.
the Pokemon and how much any of them
Jet,
are
I'm
used.
good, man.
And
How are you?
really, it makes it even more confusing, I think, for us as casters, right? In that last game, we got a chance to see Machamp, who was banned out in our previous event, first pick, or first ban, or within the first bans very quickly. We got a chance to see Psyduck, who was banned out a lot, and there was like Moltres, and I can't even remember because there's just so many. I mean, Decidueye was a pretty early pick, but that was game 5 of All-Star Draft. And they are that deep into their pools of Pokemon, and they are still getting picks like that. So we really are going to be in an interesting spot for today when we are not in All-Star Draft.
No.
Anything can be picked, and this pool is still, I mean, not even just as wide, but
I
wider.
think
including
gym
the
packs are
addition of some of
guaranteed
these new
2.
Totally agree, and like you mentioned, you have not just the pick of the Moltres. I would add as well, on top of that attacker we mentioned with the Decidueye, the Mew, always so frequent. The Espeon as well. So these attackers have been doing incredibly well, and in general, I feel like the compositions that can go around them, they can be very versatile. The Decidueye a little bit more
I don't
niche,
think
a
there's
little
any
more
Onyx
specific
or
to the way it
Steelix in
needs
these,
to defend,
which is
this,
unfortunate, because he should be in every
good
set.
Pokemon.
But
And I feel like it's just very
It is
frail,
what
very
it is.
fragile. You have to be very specific on how you go about these compositions, whereas with the Psyshock, with the Espeon, you have a little more liberty because you have a stun, you can create a little more space around you. The Mew literally can do anything. You have the Surf, you have the Teleport. You can do so much damage from such a big distance with the Solar Beam that you can just be safe on your own.
Dang, we're getting down to the wire.
A lot of things that can be used
4
on
packs
top
left in
of
this
that.
box.
And you mentioned the Moltres as well. Is there anything in particular about this Pokemon that you feel like is the most impactful? Because, like you said, it has been picked or banned all the time.
Yeah, Moltres, it can do so much damage as what is already considered kind of like a tanky,
A full art
brawler-type
Scyther?
Pokemon. So it really can
Maybe.
play a lot of different roles, and I think significantly over the course of this game's life, we've seen when Pokemon can kind of fill multiple roles. It can be, a little bit of a defender.
Dang,
an
all right,
attacker,
last
Blastoise,
pack. Come
it
on,
can
last
be
pack,
a little
We've
bit
only
more
gotten
of a
one
support
art rare
and
in
attack
this
at the same time,
box.
aka Mew.
Come on,
we're
Captain
gonna see
Pikachu.
a lot of them, and so
Don't
far,
do me
this is
dirty.
exactly what we've been seeing from Moltres. Now, again, I did mention though that there are a few Pokemon that we're not going to get a chance to see
That
this weekend
whole
because
box
there
only
have
had
just been
one
so many
art
Pokemon
rare?
released all in a row. They are just on a
We got
tear right
toasted,
now. So
chat.
we get a chance to look right now at Skeledirge, who is I'm actually really sad is not legal because this is going to be a fun
Absolutely
Pokemon
toasted.
watch.
Oh, it's so weird. Like you see here, it's an attacker, and it's just such a
The Skeledirge
fun
is not
Pokemon
currently
to play.
legal in the
I've been playing
format,
quite
but
a lot of it
but I
as
guess
well.
he will be
The
at Worlds, maybe?
playstyle here is more
It's
definitely
too
like
new?
glass cannon. You're ranged, you have a lot of damage, and you really need to stay protected because you are very fragile, just like the Decidueye.
Why are
You are
Pokemon cards
not
so
gonna be able to
expensive?
survive that
It's a
much.
great question,
and
man.
Of course, being a 3-tier evolution, you need to go through
Great
quite a lot
question.
of guaranteeing the XP and getting the EOS Pokemon, the EOS coins with the wild Pokemon. There we go. To guarantee
All
that
the
you get a
yeah, there is a lot of plastic, but it's all going into my
In this trailer,
trash
I was like, hey, another one we're finally not going to be attacking Cramorant, and then they put in a second Pokemon to get hit from the AoE, and it was Cramorant. So, you know, never really truly out of danger.
I still can't believe we literally got one single hit in that whole
like,
box.
why do you bully Cramorant all the time? But yeah, so the biggest thing here, which I think we are going to see pretty soon. Did we just see it? The Unite move. It's kind of hard to actually show off though, where it's going to have the big global Unite, which is going to be a really, really fun move to watch. Something
One
that
just seems so little
an
though.
Opportunity to see as much
like all
as,
these packs, and you're gonna get a single hit.
We kind of get a chance to see Mewtwo's with a global Unite, right? But the way that this one works, just being able to target is going to be really, really fun to see. So Skeleturge, I do hope that we get a chance to see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see that yet in this trailer. Whoa, wrong direction. But that's going to be honestly one of the most fun moves to watch, and I'm glad that. I mean, theoretically, again, it should be like legal for Worlds as far as just being within time to be able to play it.
Exactly.
Almost the one
And I
we
hope
want.
that it's not going to have any bugs so that we can have this Pokemon at Worlds, because we're going to see here in a little bit of gameplay. That Unite move is a global skill shot, and it's very fast. It travels super fast. It's very wide as well. And you can aim, you know, just like the way you play it, I feel like it's very satisfying when you can just aim sometimes as you're going through the map in which direction you want to go. Like you look at the map and you see like, oh, where's the sniper
They must be
going?
having a lot
I
of
feel like
technical
it's
difficulties.
Very, very good for defending from a distance. You know, if you think about it, it could be like Skeleturge is pushing, but then you look at somebody going for a back cap, and then you just fire that, and they're going to be stopped and they're not going to be able to score, which is like super interesting as well, because you don't usually think of a Pokemon like that.
A European tour.
Usually as
Hey,
a
maybe
like
one
mage,
day.
that type
I am
of
going to
attacker.
Australia this year.
Should be one that's good for map-wide defense.
Right. Yeah, and it's
So
really
international's
interesting
not out of the
because mechanics
question.
of Pokemon Unite, right? In other similar games, you could have a little bit more global thing, but
Not out of the
you really are kind
question.
of looking for damage to be able to finish off a Pokemon, and that's something that's similar that we do see a lot being used with Mewtwo. But just because you do get to really target it and know exactly where it's going to hit, the way that you score in Pokemon Unite means that you can basically theoretically
literally nothing
get a
from
hit
this
on
box
somebody
yet.
who is trying to score, right? And so it really kind of has this like double
Maybe that means 'cause it's
ability
holding
to
out on
be
us.
able to do things that you might not
Let's
expect,
back to Pikachu.
or it can help, you know, clear out another path that somebody else is trying to push down if they need a little bit of assist. So I'm really excited to see that just on top of its kit in general, but not quite yet, because again, we are here only at NAIC. It is just barely outside of that competitive quarantine.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna have Worlds. Everything is gonna be all right, and everything is gonna be all right here as we are working through the technical issues. So once again, thank you so much for your patience and sticking with us here for the
Bravo.
second series of the Pokemon Unite Championship Series on the North America International Championships.
Yeah, we got a really good match, a really great team of evil geniuses coming up very soon, hopefully. Of course, we're
I feel
all
bad for
along,
these
so we wanna watch it
announcers.
as much as all of you
They're
do.
really having
Evil
a stall.
Genius is one of the teams, and we did get a
Up,
chance to talk obviously about a lot
up.
of teams, but
I
it's
see
really
evil
interesting how many
geniuses.
teams that have already qualified for Worlds
I
have shown
see
up
'em.
just because they
The
wanna
boys are
continue their
out.
momentum, right? I mean, they want to obviously
Look how intimidated. Like, I'm intimidated. I'm not even playing them.
The prize that I think most of the other teams are vying for has already been achieved by these teams. And you can see them right there. They're cool.
Let's
little
go, boys.
Jackets, jerseys.
Yeah, look at those jerseys and evil genius jackets.
It's a nice combo of colors, kind of similar to what you have now with the white and the
Yeah.
and the blue. I like it a lot. Yeah.
No Sweat not wearing jackets because their name is No Sweat, so they got to make sure
True, they're
that they
not
stay
sweating.
true. Yeah,
Yes,
it's-
exactly.
If we
Oh, they're
see
sweating.
any sweat, one drip
Look how
of sweat,
nervous
which
they
we've already
look.
seen on me today. We're already just starting the day, and that's already happening. But we see one drip of sweat on these teams, or well, just on No Sweat, I should say, disqualified. I'm getting that official ruling from the judges right now.
Yeah, we're getting it through. It's patched. It's completely.
All right,
through.
another one-hit box.
Well, also terrible laggers. So moving on. I did notice though, Chef, that
Gotta get a
Sweat
third
has
corner with
plenty
one of those
single
bots that run through
plushies
Pokemon
on
games.
their table. So that could be an
How
indication
funny.
of that Typhlosion that we were talking about.
That would be
Pokemonception.
very fun. I don't think it's going to be banned, but again, maybe there's some like some unique.
All right, no
knowledge
Captain
and,
Pikachu,
Hey,
that
bring
thing.
plushies to the table. Literally, bring them to the table.
Hey, you win some, you lose some,
may
right?
End up kind of being like, hey, you want to ban this Pokemon? And we'll see if that ends up happening. Evil Geniuses, though, they're currently still just kind of, I think, discussing some of their strategies. And realistically, I don't think, especially, I mean, early on, unless you have like some
What's
really,
our
really strong
strategy?
knowledge,
Win.
I think it seemed like Evil Geniuses maybe doesn't have to go super
At
targeted.
any
They just have to
cost.
play their own game and prove, hey, we are here and already qualified for a reason. And you can see there's like confidence. It's pretty lighthearted up there, but I mean, this is some amazing players.
So Evil Genius is world qualified. No Sweat is not. No Sweat is vying for the last world spot available.
It's just a case of like it's a playing ground, a testing field. You're just trying to get maybe new things or establish even more the strategy that you have already cooked. So a couple of these are possible for the teams that have found themselves on top already. And again, that does open up space for No Sweat, and it opens up space for the first draft of this series.
Let's
No Sweat on
go.
the purple side, Evil Geniuses on the orange.
It's starting, finally, let's go. And of course, Rayquaza to start off every single set, so always something to truly keep in mind when we look at these picks and bans. Bans immediately off the bat. Umbreon Defender bans, I think, are going to be a pretty big
for Alligator's out. I was hoping to see him.
As we look at maybe banning
Snorlax
out
ban,
as well.
Moltres ban.
Is going to be banned or probably picked
Explosion.
The other side,
maybe
Moltres
not.
as well, which again can kind of play as a little bit more of that defensive play.
The
Psyduck as
Psyduck
well, a
ban.
little bit more of like a tanky supporter, right? I mean,
And
again, it's all
Machamp.
about the multiple roles.
It is. It's all about the headache as well. And Psyduck is definitely one of the most prioritized.
Let's go, boys.
In the matter at the moment, Psyduck picked or banned. Looking at here, a Blastoise, however, for the side of No Sweat, which makes quite a lot of sense with the focus on defenders you have mentioned. Although that Typhlosion that we mentioned, those plushies, they were legit.
First pick.
Okay, I know Chris Smith loves
of course,
Lucario.
I was expecting we were going to see some Typhlosion, but with how the meta currently
Lucario's
is,
his goat.
first picks are really, really interesting. Oh gosh, I can't remember. I remember in the first set of today, our first match, we saw a pretty interesting first pick as well, and I cannot remember exactly what that was, but I'll go back and look at it. But so far, it's been pretty varied. Sometimes we run into metas that are a whole lot. Oh, that's right, it was Espeon. Thank you. Look at that. You're keeping track.
Oh, just
I'm
kidding. It
not
was
keeping
his
track.
Ashen.
One day I'll learn how to do
He was
stuff.
just hovering
On the other
Lucario.
side, speaking of Espeon, we do get the Espeon pick pretty late into the draft, I would say.
Yes, I would consider that the case as well, especially with the Mew.
The Mamoswine, Espeon, Hoopa.
Also. But we have the Articuno here with a Typhlosion and a Mega Lucario for the side of No Sweat, with a final pick of a Vaporeon, and also very interested to see this Pokemon in play because I feel like it's very powerful with the Aqua Ring and the healing. Meanwhile, Evil Genius is with a Zacian and Hoopa, an Espeon and a Mamoswine, looking for good damage but also good control.
Who's gonna go with?
I would say they're really lacking that attacker role exactly.
Latios.
Very nice. How we have been seeing all throughout the recent patch.
Latios, Ducky.
Is doing really well with late game pressure. You stack so much that you get to final stretch.
On our big boy
and if you are stacked up,
Mamoswine.
you really burn down through the enemy lines.
And it's pretty interesting, I think, to
Oh,
see
so did
Espeon
they
and
steal
Latios
the did they steal the
Not that
Lucario?
obviously
I didn't catch
not
if that
good
went
or
through.
the
No,
players can't play them
because
extremely well,
because they
but to
picked
double up
Typhlosion and then
on
they
a
picked
ranged
Zacian
attacker
and
is not something
Hoopa,
that's
right?
always kind of like a meta pick. But Evil Geniuses, they have so much flexibility, and I do like this.
We
a
saw
lot.
Zacian
The burst
popping
damage on
off,
this
though, in the
team
last
is
game.
out of this world. If you get hit by one Ice Fang, I mean, Zacian plus Espeon plus Latios, it's over for you. So you really have to position well if you are Team No Sweat. And they've got some pretty aggressive comp as well.
I'd be sweating right now.
Gonna have maybe, I mean, I guess
Against that Evil
depends on
Genius
what you
team
do
comp.
end up,
Bang, let's go.
well, the Mew is kind of the interesting thing to me, right? So a lot of times you can kind of choose between playing a little bit more of a supporting Mew or a more damaging Mew, but in this case it does seem to be a little bit more of a damaging Mew. So if we can end up seeing it do a little bit more damage, kind of playing with its range, you maybe won't need to full dive quite as much. It's not that they can't dive at all, and obviously Typhlosion can certainly dive, but we'll see how they end up playing the comp.
2-0 sweep, let's go. I
It
believe.
definitely is. And we're getting into our first game of No Sweat versus Evil Geniuses in the group stage would be of NAIC. And like you said, there's a lot of diveability, but there's also quite a lot of protection and setup on the side of Evil Geniuses. Your orange team versus No Sweat, your purple team.
And already we're going to see an invade here. Ducky going
Get him, Ducky.
in, trying to at least be annoying. And if there's anything that the
the steal!
is certainly annoying.
He got the last hit.
Typhlosion.
We
In
love
fact,
that.
You're not really at full power until you get that full evolution.
Let's
This
go,
early game with
Ducky.
it can be just obnoxious. And already we get to see the steal on the blue buff. That is a great steal. We're going to see another steal from just one of the ball toys. So a lot of experience going to the way of Ducky. And this is going to be huge. I mean, you really need to get this Typhlosion online. Again, it's a triple evolution Pokemon. And can it even get anything?
Wow.
Ducky, let's
Ducky
go.
stole every single buff here. So Evil Geniuses with
Ducky
a
playing
very
games
strong
with them.
start and really making that Cyndaquil starve. Meanwhile, here on the bot side, we know there's always pressure to get the level 4 already with the evolutions. Just the same case that you have on the top side with Evil Geniuses. Now here with Naldi having to go to the bot side, still trying to find that level 4.
Ducky's just straight
almost
bullying
taken
him.
down, but a 4 people push here on bot side for No Sweat.
Yeah, really figuring out how to play catch-up is going to be the big question mark of how No Sweat is actually going to do that. And so far, oh my goodness, we're going to see that
the evolution
already. All that stolen experience. I mean, one of the highest level Pokemon in the game right now.
That dash through the wall was amazing, but Ducky's in danger now. But Shanti is
Oh,
also
he's
in
out.
danger.
He's
That
out.
is
He
almost
survived.
taken down.
Let's go,
Cyndaquil.
Ducky.
It is a confirmed that with the last auto from the Espeon, now Evil Geniuses
Espeon got a
maintaining themselves
knockout.
in a good position on the team fights, and especially on the levels.
That was an interesting place for them to kind of team fight. I did not expect that was going to turn out into a fight, but right now, Evil Geniuses are not relenting on the pressure. So I mean, you can see, look at this, 3 to 4 members already kind of walking into the center area. At this point, there's not even anything left to farm in there. They're just kind of asserting their dominance, making sure that nobody jumps on them, and now they're going to back up. They're going to take this 8-minute experience in the center as well that's gone untouched because nobody was even that far east on the map. Things are looking a little bit tough for No Sweat. They can certainly make a comeback, but they're going to have to take their time and make sure that they don't really get any more of a deficit than this because they have Pokemon.
All right, we got a nice little level lead here.
They definitely do. Dark Raptor here takes a lot of damage on the top side. Christmas super healthy. Well, you have Zeta trying to help too, but with that Phantom Force, Roland is just doing
Latios
really well
just hit level
helping
8.
out and
We are
having more
3
space.
levels
But it's
up
not
on the
a
entire
trick.
team.
Cooper this time around a portal, now getting Chris Smith into a good health position, but back into the fray. It's Zaid and Dark Raptor that's also doing pretty well with this Mega Lucario.
Now, well, actually, Christmas pretty low to be moving forward right there, but definitely up in levels.
Get him. Get him.
Chasing down.
Nice.
Nice. What a catch. That was just barely on the edge. I thought maybe that they weren't going to have a chance to get that. Oh, my
Hey,
goodness.
Squelch.
Ducky
Thanks so much for all the support, man.
living in this west side center area. I want to see the Ducky heat map at the end of this game production.
Just west.
Yes, yeah, with not even anywhere in any of the paths. It's just going to be in the center area of the enemy team. But I love that heat map, one of the best things we've ever added. We are going to be moving up to fight against this Regieleki, though, and it's being burned down pretty quickly.
We need last hit.
Taken by Espeon, and up here, the final hit. Looks like it might have gone to,
we did not get it.
Vaporeon, not what I thought.
Yeah, usually not what you would expect, but it is what is the case here. Now you're looking at finally Naldi getting into a much more
Latios level
spot
10.
than level 8
Straight
compared to what
cruising.
you had previously. Evil Geniuses though still with the power spike of level 10 with this Luster Purge Latios on Kyrios, and that is just like we said, setting up for the perfect late game.
Right. I mean, this is kind
Look
of
how
one of the tough
Typhlosion
situations
runs.
you can be in. We still don't see really
Got
a
him.
lot of the power spikes that we need to see. Oh my goodness. This Latios, by the way, is starting to get out of control. Its damage is getting ridiculous. For anybody who's not as familiar, Latios does scale. You get Eos energy, or not Eos energy, Eon energy. But too much energy in this game. I need some energy. But it scales really, really well into the late game, even for a Pokemon that doesn't evolve, and it does more and more damage.
Okay, so we actually had Shantu there using the Mystical Mirage, and they were close.
Yeah,
to
I had
Hooper
to-
and the
I
Latios.
think
There might have
Typhlosion looks
been
like a
a little
goober in
encounter or
3D.
skirmish in the central area.
Looks
They're
way
going to
better
pop
in
the
2D.
Unite move. But now with nothing, literally nothing on the block, as now finally the yellow spots are spawning. Bot side, there is another KO for Vin here on this
gonna get some
Espeon, allowing
scores.
Evil Geniuses to push on this bot side, allowing them around, I think, a 20-point overdunk with the top side.
Oh, man, look at the
having
Hoopa.
that, Hoopa around bound.
He's a
Will
big
bring
boy.
The rest of Evil Geniuses. Dark Raptor has to use their Unite move. The so low in HP, they're able to get finished off. No, not yet. Just trying to get that Unite move with the Eon Blast, and they do. There for Kyrio. Says now Evil
I
Geniuses
think
has
we're
control
running
of
away with
pad.
this one,
Zayn,
boys.
He's completely destroyed on pad as well. Typhlosion trying to get something here with Nadal, with that Mewtwo, but they are not going to do so because the portal was perfect by Evil Geniuses.
Kyrios is seriously getting out of control. I know it literally
Yeah,
just
the
said it,
Mammoth
but,
skin with that
it is
little
just doing
suit.
so much damage
Oh my gosh,
right
it's
now.
wild.
And that is a Pokemon. That's why you choose it, right? It has some of the best late game scaling in the game, and the better you can do in early game, the better it's going to scale a little bit later. The more you get a chance to fight, use those moves.
Regieleki's up.
A very tough situation to deal with, and honestly, that's kind of a situation with most of Evil Geniuses comp. Now, there are going to be some objective spawns. We'll see if they actually fight for them. Only 2 members up here for Evil Geniuses.
Okay, with that, Regieleki getting attacked, but it has reset, so it's going to be on a lot of HP thus far.
Oh, nice. The whole squad just rolled up for the Regieleki.
And have no sweat. Maybe could
Big
like
team
this one,
fight.
but the Psychic Select
Just cleaning
is going to
house,
allow Evil
boys.
Geniuses to be in a perfect position to continue pushing and take this Regieleki themselves. They have all control over here, but that is a Mega Lucario trying to get a steal, but it's still
Oh,
going to get confirmed by Evil Geniuses
I
with a
thought the
huge push
Lucario was trying
on
to
top
get
side.
trying to
You
steal
have to
it.
respect
I mean,
the
it was
attempts,
trying to steal it.
right?
I didn't know that
they're doing what they
He
can.
didn't, though.
And honestly, I would say the positive side, which is disappearing as I say it, but the thing that NoSweat can look at is they're not behind by that
that
many
dapper
points, right?
Mammoth
Once
Swan.
you start becoming behind by like 200, 300 points, that's when you see situations like we saw in that PJCS Grand Finals that we got a chance to watch replay of earlier. Right now, though, I think points are less of an issue than experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, level 13 on the side of Evil Geniuses, and of course it's that hyper-scaling Kyrios.
We've taken the
very
XP
It's
lead.
scary. It's scary.
Gotta
and
run with
scaling.
it.
Scary, the scary carry, scary scaling. This is just, it's an absolute tongue twister. I'm gonna need you to start talking because I need to untie
Just
my
reset
tongue.
the brain. Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that for you. Right, Evil Geniuses at the 3-minute mark with the level 13 on the Latios, level 12 on the Espeon. They have all the damage necessary to continue a team fight successfully. That's always been so well set up by Ducky on this Mammoth Swan with such a great pressure from the get-go, allowing themselves to have that experience boost. But we're getting close to final stretch, and NoSweat is just trying to get the level 13 themselves for the Typhlosion. Although Shanti
Got
is
the
getting
Typhlosion.
completely just erased off the map, although
Get him,
there is
Ducky.
enough HP on that bar to keep them standing. Now Evil Geniuses has isolated Dark Raptor here on the top side of the central area.
Nice,
Another
let's go.
knockout, make it 2 for Kyrios. But on the other
gosh,
side
they just
of the
crushed
jungle, you
them.
have Chris Smith again with Ducky, just making sure that there's no buffs available even to look at for NoSweat.
This is, I mean,
This so the NAIC is the last. I believe it's the last tournament before the World Championship.
It's like basically what's happening here.
So this is the last
is
chance for some
NoSweat is
teams
not
to
allowed
qualify to
get
go
any
to
sort of, I don't know,
Worlds.
bags of wheat. I don't know what they ate back
This
then,
is the
but,
this is
they
the
are
North
just-
American,
I mean,
the last
they've got
North
some levels. They
American
need to make
final
one
tournament.
huge engagement
Potatoes.
here. Potatoes, yes.
Potatoes, okay. We have Pharaoh having to pop that Unite move. They have enough to continue just for a little bit longer, but it's still going to be Typhlosion in a tight
Sliders
spot
gets
there.
out.
But they are going to get taken down. No, not yet though. Evil Geniuses
Ducky
is
goes
trying
in.
to isolate Muse, going to use that stuff with a Mystical Mirage to get some damage. They have to use the eject button to get away. Now Evil Geniuses is going to just hunt them down one by one. NoSweat only has Muse standing, and 1 minute and 30.
They're
on the clock.
sweating.
I don't even
EG's
know
gonna
who
grab the
that is. I don't know
Rayquaza.
who Mew is, but
Oh, that's
they found
game.
them.
At base. Yeah.
That's
3
game.
seconds after saying that, Rayquaza, of course, being the objective just means that this is going to be even more of, I would say, one-sided victory, almost certainly for Evil Geniuses. So a pretty solid showing from them.
Great
As the,
game.
I feel like it's a little bit of an understatement.
Way to go,
They
EG.
really truly controlled this entire game. And honestly, NoSweat did do a pretty good job of not allowing them to completely run them over, but they were just behind.
What a
by
kind thing to
maybe
say.
1,
Yeah,
2,
NoSweat did a
1.5,
good job not
2
getting
levels in the
completely
entire game. And
bulldozed.
When you're going up against a team like this and a comp like this, like Evil Geniuses comp, you are not going to be able to fight them when you're behind. So, I mean, 40 seconds left, but realistically at this point, we know who's won. It's more than a 500-point lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just
well,
not even feasible.
Yes. I mean, hey, you know, maybe if Evil Geniuses gets up and walks away, they've already qualified
They
for
all
Worlds.
disconnect.
Yeah. Somebody
They all
spills water.
disconnect.
Roland
Oh
spills
my
a
goodness.
3-gallon jug of water onto the desk.
Exactly. So I was going to say it's interesting how you mentioned that. It's the gap that was created by.
I can't get over that
on-
Mammoth Swan
firstly
skin, though.
On experience and then consequently
So
on
dapper.
damage and how they were controlling across the map on points, and that is going to be the first game of this series. Evil Genius is 1-0 up in this best of 3. We know that NoSweat didn't just completely crumble.
Let's
they had something that was
go.
working, but now they need to figure out we need to shut down Ducky early game because if they get those steals, that's not going to work. So they need something that has to evolve quick. They can't afford the Typhlosion right now with a 3-tier.
I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. I'm feeling the 2-0.
Yeah, the thing about the Pokemon Unite is that it's such a fast game, it's such an aggressive game that it's so easy to get a snowball effect. So if you get something like Ducky taking away almost the entire
Hey, look, I have the
area
same
at the
controller the
beginning of
pros
game, that can just snowball
use.
into a lead throughout the rest of
I'm
it.
halfway to
Like the
being a
Typhlosion,
professional.
I'm not saying, certainly wasn't a bad pick, and it did put in some work, but it was not the level at all the entire game that it really wanted to be. I mean, it did end up being their highest level. You can see right here, level 13, but realistically, I mean, it should be, the entire team should be higher level. So it's just a tough situation to be in. Ducky did an incredible job of invading with the Pokemon that honestly we don't see invade all that much, but is
Yeah, Ducky, I mean, that
extremely
early
annoying,
invade,
to invade with. So big compliments there. To
he
Ducky.
just was
Great
bullying that
but like you said,
Cyndaquil.
If they can figure out a different strategy, like maybe a defending center area, maybe choosing somebody in the center area that's a little bit, I don't know, tougher, like they can fight a little bit more, things could go a little bit better for them. But Kyrgios will be our player of the game, one of the most player of
Oh
the
my gosh,
game players.
14 knockouts, 0
They are.
deaths.
English.
14 and
That is
0.
absolutely correct English. I can say that because English is definitely, I'm winking, my first language.
Now the question is, do they ban the Latios because he just went ham on it?
5 KFA, almost 100,000.
I could see that
damage, got
happening.
181 points scored.
Hey guys, we just got
we
absolutely
know
destroyed
now
by this
Able
Latios.
Geniuses
Should we
is
ban it?
Completely capable and just very interested in running compositions that they can control late game. But they also said, I feel like they might be a bit weak, and they exploited that with the invades early game. So I feel like that is exactly what you can expect from a
97,000
team of
damage
this
dealt.
caliber that has
15,000
already qualified
damage
for Worlds.
taken.
They just know how to control beginning to end, even if on the draft that composition would be late.
Yeah, it's it definitely could be depending on how it goes out, but I mean the way it played was just so good. And one thing that I do want to point out about those comps, the last time we just got a chance to see them, one thing that can be a really
once the
big
draft
issue,
pulled back up, we'll
was
swap
what
screens
No
again.
Sweat picked, which was that
Look at that
Lucario,
heat map,
the Mega
though.
Lucario. Now, obviously a great Pokemon, very, very powerful, but whenever you choose a Pokemon that really just choose to kind of one-on-one brawl with the opponent, if you get behind in levels, it becomes so, I mean, honestly, just kind of useless. That might be a little bit harsh to say, but again,
Yeah,
not
level
a player
difference, man.
issue.
It's
That's
so
just how
important.
it
XP is
if
so
you're playing
important.
that type of Pokemon and you are under level against something like, for example, a Zacian.
I love that
you're
early
never gonna be able
Ducky
to do
invade,
anything
though.
in that fight. So you have to make sure that if you choose a comp that includes things like really just any of the brawlers, that you have some sort of early game strength as well to be able to uphold your early game.
Yeah, and then like we said, like that usual rotation that we have from central area going into the top side would be so
Eevee Master Ball.
necessary, not just for the Cyndaquil there, but also for that Mega Lucario, because then you can help out for the carry in that case, right? The early game Pokemon that can do well in that side to actually manage to do something more. But
Hey!
they just, both buffs
Rattle.
being stolen by Ducky was really great work by them.
Yeah, and the ball toy and just
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Really, the whole game stolen by Ducky.
They were.
Great players. I mean, some players on here. I believe Ducky is going to be their first time going to Worlds, playing Worlds. I think that's correct. Sorry if I'm wrong on
Ducky
that.
looks young.
There's a couple.
Anyone know how
players
old
on here
Ducky
that's
is?
gonna be the case. So. I mean, well deserved. I'm really loving how Evil Genius.
I mean, they're probably all
even,
young
like,
compared
grown
to
as a
me.
team over the course of this
I'm an
season.
old
Obviously, they got
man,
put
chat.
together, as far as these players at the start of this season, but all very strong veteran players. Some of them a little bit more than the rest. So we are going to go back into this pick and ban. Looks like Groudon will be our second map picked, and already we're seeing some familiar bans. Although Hoopa out pretty quick.
Okay, so they
I feel
banned the
like it was a
Hoopa.
very good choice, and interesting as well to have the Portal plus the Phantom Force as well. So you have the displacement, but also allowing for the damage.
The
that was
Hoopa
out. I feel like
ban.
that was key too, because sometimes you would see
And
Zacian actually
Zacian.
almost
They
taking them
banned
down,
the
but also
Zacian
immediately
and
almost getting
Hoopa
taken
from
down
our team.
themselves. So the Hoopa was definitely super necessary there with Roland. Now we have a first pick here for the side of. No sweat on the purple. That would make
Psyduck
sense
pick
for us
up?
to go for the Psyduck that was not banned this time around.
Psyduck, the top carry in the game. The top
All right, so
support in
Evil
the game,
Genius
the
is
top
on the
tank in
right
game,
side.
just do everything. No, we've seen so many times where, specifically when Keller and I cast together, for some reason, Psyduck is just constantly taking the
I don't
main
know why the
objective
pick
all
ban
the time. We're getting like triple KOs.
page
It's just,
changed
quite
from the
good.
last
But
one.
Espeon as well.
All right, Espeon,
extremely
okay.
good.
We're
So
gonna
we are
see our
be
Dapper
seeing
Mammoth
some,
Swine
pretty
again.
Similar, at least defensive choices already from the side of
There
Evil
it is.
Geniuses. This is a pretty great combo, by the way.
All right,
We've seen
so
the
the
champions
targeted
go level a lot,
Hoopa
but
Zacian ban's
Psyshock
kind of
after Ice
wild.
Fang is pretty almost
Brutal.
guaranteed one hit KO. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just so good. Oh, Umbreon was also banned in the previous game, and No Sweat is going to pick it alongside that Psyduck. So very high priority picks alongside the Mew.
Last pack.
So on paper,
Nope, just
they
kidding.
have a
Last
very
two.
good composition.
Oh,
as well.
Gyarados?
So they would
I'm
definitely
gonna
need
just
here
kidding.
a brawler, someone that is going to
Alchemy?
be getting that melee damage to actually sustain
Ooh, the
Interesting
Darkrai.
hero, the Darkrai. Okay, it's been down in popularity for a while.
Yeah, the Darkrai is a really interesting
Man, another
pick.
bust of a box,
It's,
chat.
again, a pretty flexible Pokemon on how you exactly want to play it. I was a big fan of kind of the support Darkrai playstyle for a while, and I mean, definitely I would assume based on this comp it's going to be a little more of a damage-dealing Darkrai, but maybe they're going to be trying to target out certain players. I mean, Curios, obviously...
Yeah, imagine if they banned Koopa, Mamoswine, and Zacian. Just straight targeted bans across the board. I mean, 2 out of 3, though.
Especially, they're going
The
to
Koopa and Zacian
bans. Well on
bans.
the team, but hey, that actually is a Pokemon that you can solo out pretty well, and I'm surprised it's going to be the last pick with the Cinderace.
All right,
Okay,
Cinderace,
so
Alchemy,
the
Mimikyu,
two compositions overall, right?
Mamoswine.
Because I was mentioning they needed the
SBI.
melee damage. They have a Blaziken, pretty good. You have a good Secure with the Solar Blade, the Solar Beam, and the Overheat there. So those two things are good, but the response that we saw as well from Evil Geniuses, I like it a lot. Like the Mimikyu, I think is very interesting because the playstyle of the Mimikyu, we're going with the play with me and just being on someone specifically, you know, just still on the ground. Having the Alcremie there also makes a lot of sense. Who needs to be with someone that is not going to move that much to stay away from the fluffy cream. I don't know, cake. Yeah. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, the Unite move for Alcremie.
Yeah, the Mimikyu pick I think is going to do really well here. I do think there's going to be a good opportunity for them to either use the Mimikyu to get rid of something like the Mew early or the Darkrai early, or if they do end up in more of a flip situation, you can Mimikyu unite the Blaziken and maybe try to prevent it from even being a part of that secure scenario where the secure is going to be pretty strong already on No Sweat. So maybe it'll give them the chance for Cinderace to unite to be an option for that. We'll see. I think a big situation.
Am I going to be playing Unite? I mean, I'm sure I've got to now.
How well can Curios
maybe I'll have the Evil Genius team teach me how to play.
Curios is one of the best players at being able to play independently.
Maybe I'm a
and just
natural,
space
who knows?
themselves so well, so they don't need that much backup. I think Cinderace from Curios is going to be great as we get here into game number 2. No Sweat, no wins on board quite yet. Evil Geniuses just needs to win one more in this first group match stage.
They do to get that 2-0 sweep, but
Get him, Ducky.
like you mentioned, we saw a pattern of Ducky going into invades. We saw a pattern of Curious playing Hyperscalers, but this time around, No Sweat is a little more prepared. They sent out the Mew into their center to help out the Torchic, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much as big of a difference as you could possibly want. So No Sweat has to be happy about that. Their defense worked perfectly, and obviously that did waste a little bit more time with some of those Pokemon, but in the meantime, I mean, this is going to be a very, very different early game, or theoretically should be already, with no quad buffs going to Evil Geniuses. We do see 2 right there, though, on Curios already, and
nice.
Wow, they are going to, you know, Ducky's going to get something at the start of the game. Maybe it'll be a KO, maybe it'll be a steal with the buffs, but it's always going to be something for Ducky.
We'll take it.
Yes, it is. They still swine up, so a little different.
I love Ducky's play style.
Growing curve, but with 850 here, a great push back there by Naldi to get the Swablu away from Evil Geniuses. And that is just so important overall because No Sweat struggled with the XP. Now they're trying to make up for it.
Ooh, I like that. Coming in a little bit late, but definitely trying to
Buskin did get one steal on
if
that.
you remember last game, well, no, actually it was the 8-minute spawns, but of course it's going to be a little bit of a different situation. But they did get completely ignored because there was such an aggressive play from Evil Geniuses. However, this time around, No Sweat at least showing, hey, we're going to be able to get some challenges up in the center area. And of course, for those, again, who are maybe not as familiar, the Rayquaza map is very different as far as the wild Pokemon spawn as well. Stuff like Regidrago is going to be spawning now. There's just going to be a whole lot of different
Look at that Mimikyu
so
skin.
we'll be seeing that pretty soon. In the meantime, though, a little bit more of a poke game. Certainly all
Oh my gosh,
at
look at
a
this side-up
hugely
skin.
different pace than we saw in the first.
That's crazy.
Definitely is, and just like you said, Regidrago now getting targeted by No Sweat.
Get him, Ducky.
Always there. A nice Ice Fang is going to get Zaid in a terrible position. They use the Shinichi.
Oh, he substituted.
They are going to get away from
Get him, Ducky.
Regidrago. No, they don't. Cannot believe Regidrago actually got that KO, but it's still continuing. Evil Genius is here with that backup. Roland is going to guarantee that Curios is in the best position to get even more
Ducky's
KOs
like,
as the
you
series
might get an objective, but I'm gonna make you fight for it, dude.
No, I'm just kidding. I've been saying that for, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, long time. But, well, yeah, certainly it has been 4 years at this point. I can't figure out time. We are going to see the spawns up top here, and there's really not going to be that much of a challenge already. We're going to be seeing this Mimikyu really starting to pop off. Even at the 1v2, they're going to eventually have to back up. I mean, we see that Kremi with the supports, but altogether, the fights are starting to look a little bit more like game number 1, and there's just not a real good challenge for No Sweat quite yet.
Oh, a very nice dodge there. Now, Kismet is running that Trick Rune, which is interesting too, but it's a 3v2 now. Maybe No Sweat could try to turn this around. around. Roland is on low HP. They have to be careful about this. On the top side, you have that
That was
Reggie,
crazy.
and Evil Genius does confirm the bottom Reggie.
All right,
Now,
we
with a
picked up
good push
the
with a
Reggie
sidekick
Rock.
there by Dark Raptor could be the position where they get themselves into control of a Reggie like it is. And no set guarantees that one on top side.
The secure again is going to be a really big deal until they actually group up together and try to find an option to deal with that level of secure. I think we are going to see No Sweat with a pretty decent situation as far as being able to take more objectives than they did in the last game. And I will say though, too, Evil Genius has pushed out a lot of points already.
They'll have a good, still have a good level advantage.
Pretty quick for that. We're only at the 6-minute and 15-second left mark. Nice little psychic right there is going to have no backup, but at least they were going to be able to figure out that somebody was in that tall grass. So we're just
also
playing
up
a little bit more of the
points.
safe game. We are going to see Evil Geniuses take the spawns in the center once again. Still, again, you can say pretty consistently in control of the levels. Actually, again, 2 levels ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, in general, though there is that difference between, you know, the pressure that there was in fights, as we're seeing here, good psychic though, onto Chris Smith. They get a nice dodge with that trick room, and they're gonna be safe. Curious is still in position there to get some damage in, but so is Shanti with the Mew. There's the solar beam. They're gonna go win on Chris Smith, but they are just surviving pretty quick because they have that dollop from Roland. Now we're
With
using
the
them
dance.
to come around
Oh,
with
no,
nice
both
mammoth
Duckies in.
mash coming from
Ducky
the side
in.
of Evil Geniuses.
The big
They
CC.
are going to continue
Let's
this fight
go.
in such a successful
Ducky shows up
manner.
and the team
They are
goes
just
ham,
isolating
man.
everyone and just taking each one of them one at a time. Shanti's not able to cancel the 19 push, and now Chris Smith is going to score a 40 with a 36 over them.
A little bit of a 1v1 on bottom as well that didn't go the favor of No Sweat either, but they didn't get KO'd, so it could be a lot worse. Okay, side up full is going to be pretty nice, actually. But
the circles at the top
follow-up, and you can see
is, so do you see the purple circle right here on the road? Once you're scoring off points, that one becomes ineligible to
Okay,
use
pretty
anymore. So you have to
interesting
push
because
further
that's
and
a very
further
high
into
level
the
Pokemon on
enemy's
the side of
base,
Evil
basically.
Geniuses. No Sweat
So
has
more or
an opportunity
less,
to get
Evil Genius
that
has knocked
extra
out the
XP for
first
themselves and
2
allow some
closest
more space for them to
scoring
farm. Now
scoring
on the top side,
zones.
there's the Reggie like he's spawning. There's another Reggie Rock here, and Evil Geniuses is going to target that immediately. Although Blaziken for No Sweat is around, they could try to steal this one, but they're not really aware of how many members of Evil Geniuses are on the bot side.
They're a little bit slow, I think, through this fight.
Let's get the Reggie Rock
There's a
buff.
chance that they could, okay, yeah, no, not even going to be able to be close, and they might pay the price for it too. Not a full commitment, and you know, half commitment can end up making you pay. And so, unfortunately, just another big KO for Evil Geniuses up top. A little bit of a contest, maybe, but Evil Geniuses, it kind of seems like they don't even care about Regilecki.
Yeah, at this point,
They're like, we
they
don't need the
feel very
Regieleki.
comfortable with the
You
way
guys
they
can
been
have it.
rotating across the map, which was what I was going to mention. Now, although that Darkrai does go invincible, they are just caught between 3 members and a Regieleki on the side of Evil
Hey,
Geniuses, and it looks
just
like
kidding.
Regieleki
They'll take it.
is just orange team now.
They'll
as
take
Curious
it.
is going to finish that buff off.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know,
the zones
took
are
their time
basically
getting there. They were
quote-unquote
like,
towers.
If we walk over there and we can get a KO and we can get Regieleki, that's
fine.
cool. If not, whatever, you know, maybe we'll play cleanup. But, you know, they just got everything that they wanted anyway. It's just the Evil Geniuses way. And, you know, they're going for a little bit more of what they want as they're already going to be cycling forward here into the
They're
center.
just, oh my gosh.
Oh, that side shot was nice.
EG just
But pushing
bullying
once again,
them
Evil
now.
Geniuses into the enemy central, just getting again one by
Oh
one.
my gosh.
The
Absolute
Fluffy
stomp.
Cream Supreme in the the final moment that they could do it before the final stretch, so they can have that recharge of.
I
the
think this is
AR's
gonna be a 2-0
energy.
sweep,
The
chat.
Regieleki hits bad. They get yet another gold, 328 to 54, but they could get capitalized here. Ducky is in a terrible position.
Aw,
It's a
rip
2-0
Ducky.
streak for the Darkrai. So Roland and Chris Smith, they need to get away.
That's actually some huge KOs for No Sweat. They got so much experience from that. You can see now they're only down by about a level, which was, I mean, considerably better than what it was a second ago. They're also probably going to get this Reggie Drago. Yeah, nobody's going to be challenging it. Most of Evil Genius is rotating down to that bottom Reggie, and it does look like they might actually try to prioritize that before the
Yeah,
final
they're kind of
stretch,
catching
but
up on the
that was huge for No
experience
Sweat.
side.
They are behind by, I mean, a huge amount of points, like 280-ish, which is a real issue, but they actually can maybe fight in this final. Yeah, actually, look, they're actually up ahead of levels.
I mean, this is going to be the big, if they contest.
High-level Pokemon on Evil Genius' side.
Just
Is it,
capitalizing, and of
I
course,
forget,
having
are we on
Reggie Drago as
the
well, extra
Groudon
XP,
map?
But bot side, Evil Genius is now having the Rage Ice going into final stretch. That could be a lead
always
for
that
them,
last
but
big middle
they are
fight.
also just
'Cause then
so
whatever
relentless
team
in
wins
how
that
they play
fight
the
can
team
push
fights there.
in
Now,
and
No
score a
Sweat has been
bunch.
very strategic.
We're pretty, I don't know, we're playing pretty
All right,
reserved,
last 2
I think, on
minutes
No
here.
Sweat side. Maybe they're hoping that somebody's going to run into the tall grass, but it looks like they were found out on the bottom grass, just trying to get some positioning. Not going to get
Groudon's
fully
up.
caught out and KO'd, which is pretty nice. It was,
This is an
of course,
important fight
good
here.
Pokemon to be caught out, but look how aggressive Evil Geniuses is. If they find one opportunity to jump in, they're going to do it.
But honestly,
Darkrai
they could just
poking,
run the
think, a
time. I mean,
little
if they
bit,
defend
trying
and
to
just run
test
the timer.
waters. We do see a potential back cap of
All right,
Tower
he
East.
went in. Cinderace went in. He's out.
Yeah, Evil Genius
Ducky's
is
in.
strong, and now
Get him,
forcing
Ducky.
out that Mystical Mirage. That Mew is in a terrible position. They have to just get away from the fight.
Oh.
Now with another pick
All right, no
here,
one's gone
with
down
the
yet.
Mimikyu,
Oh, there goes a
they're able
Darkrai.
to take one member down
4v5.
to No Sweat, and it's the Darkrai, which makes a lot of
Oh, there goes the
difference.
Mew.
There is another KO on the Mew. No damage that you can find on the side of
Oh my gosh.
No Sweat, because now these
EG running away with it.
Chris
Oh
Mack.
my
There's the
gosh.
side beam, 2 KO streak for Vin, and
Now they're just going to
Groudon
grab
is
the Groudon
exposed.
and close this one out.
It's getting pretty low. Not really going to even be a challenge for it. Now, this is only going to be Groudon, but you really wanted that buff. And look, we did get another KO on the Psyduck as well, just even off screen barely as that happened. So
I think that's gonna be
all 5
GG,
members up
chat.
with shields. Tons of Hundo Burgers going in. 1 minute left. 1 member up on No Sweat. And I don't think that Evil Geniuses is going to overextend here. They have such a huge lead. They do not want to give away these shields. I mean, hey, actually, they're getting a little bit close. We do see at least 1 member back up. We'll see if they go for any more points. They don't have anything like a Hoopa, though, for any sort of quick resets. And this is a pretty common strategy, maybe potentially hiding in some of the tall grass, waiting to see the push and then counter push, just knowing that they don't know that you're there. We'll see what they do with the last 30 seconds, but this is going to be a tough ask for No Sweat.
Yes, it is. But
I mean,
really
No Sweat's got
appreciate the
a
fact that Evil Geniuses
300-point
although they are
deficit.
so ahead, they're not just backing out. We're not going to do anything. Let's be here. Let's go for skirmish if possible. They see an opening. They go for yet more points.
And just
almost getting
boom.
themselves into that 1,000-point mark. 804 is the score they have. Dark Raptor goes down, and Evil Geniuses starting out.
Oh my
group
gosh,
stage
good job,
with a
EG with the
2-0
2-0 sweep.
against No Sweat.
Oh my gosh, just wrecking with the points.
Definitely a No Sweat for EG.
Let's go.
I mean, definitely some sweating on the other side with a little bit of a tough
EG.
set. Both games.
2-0.
Honestly, though, definitely like a fighting chance there. We've seen some truly one-sided games. It just really comes down to especially
Let's go.
those final.
Yo,
fights where
Ducky's my-
Evil Geniuses
Ducky's my
exactly how to
goat.
take advantage
Ducky's my
of their
goat.
comp and of their lead.
The
that they
Mammoth
have
Swine
throughout the entire
gameplay.
game. So. Not a weak showing by any means from No Sweat.
The
but
invades.
Evil Geniuses are a world's
I love
qualified
it.
team for a reason.
I love it.
Exactly all of the reasons that we got a chance to see so clearly in that set, and a great start for them, but really tough route for any team trying to make it all the way through NAIC this year. See Roland pretty happy right there.
Oh, and I feel like overall, the attitude, the approach. From
All right,
Evil
who gets the
Geniuses
interview?
in
Who gets the
game,
post-game
it
interview?
felt, to me,
Give it to
very,
Ducky.
Very respectful of their enemy. They know that No Sweat is coming here a little bit raw, a little bit new. And they said, yeah, let's still play this like we value our opponent. And that's what they did. They didn't like overextend and make silly mistakes or just be like, yeah, let's play this for fun. No, they still had their strategy. They had great draft. And they made sure that they were going to.
I
be
like how
playing
much
their
quicker the
strategy
games
in
are
a
compared to
very
League.
conscious way, very deliberate way, and that's what No Sweat did too. And I feel like that's amazing for them. Like such.
Yes,
great experience for No Sweat to
Evil
be playing
Geniuses
against
plays
a
again
world
around
qualified
6,
team and not be
6:15.
completely stopped, 'cause I
So I'll be
feel like that's
live
what we had on the
probably
screen.
around like
At
quarter
one
to
point,
6,
Shaq, you mentioned
5:45
some
Eastern,
3
because
level
it depends on
13s
how
the side
quickly
of
the
No
games,
Sweat.
the matches
So they're
go.
managing to get resources.
So it
It's
could
just
be a little
very hard
earlier,
when
it
it
could be a
comes
little
to
later,
the
just
fight,
depending
because the positioning
on the other matches throughout the
Once
day.
again, doing an incredible amount of
Kyrgios with
all
8-1
the
on
time. But again, we can talk
Cinderace.
about that-
Not
that,
quite a
match. Just
14-0
we're
like he
saying,
did on the
really,
Latios last game,
Evil
but
Geniuses did play with a great
still
amount of
very
respect
good.
in that match, and it made sense because the one they did was one opportunity in game 2 that was the one that led to them getting those level 13s and jumping ahead, right? No Sweat. And the one time that Evil Geniuses, and I wouldn't even say that they overcommitted, they just valued getting that over 200-point lead over the potential of giving them experience. So they pushed down that tier 2, they got that huge lead, but then they got 3 KO'd, in return. And No Sweat took
Wait, so
huge advantage.
Ducky
of the
did-
one
oh,
opportunity
no, that's
given.
defense.
So if Evil Geniuses had given them any more opportunities,
I thought it was the
it
damage.
would have
I mean, but
potentially
honestly,
gone the
the
other direction.
Christmas and
Evil
Kyrgios
Geniuses
very
and
close
respect
on the
towards other
damage.
teams, even if you're winning a lot,
53,000,
these
almost
teams,
54,000 on
Pokemon
Christmas
big
compared to
comeback.
the 50,
Yes, there is, especially
what,
in the first game
54,000
when we
on
played Rayquaza. We know how the
Curious.
flip factor works, and that is exactly why I feel like.
So he map. A
I'm
lot of
happy
time
to
in the
see
center
Evil
there.
Genius is performing the way they have with this 2-0, because sometimes it just feels like, wow, it was a little one-sided. There was such a huge power difference in regards to experience.
Today, Evil Geniuses is playing 2 games. So this was their first match, and they've got another match in about
we might be sweating,
5 hours from now. See a turtle thing stopping in, man.
Will take it. And they were just gathering so many good resources where they could with Reggie Aleckis, with those knockouts like we saw, having the opponent be at such high level that you get a lot of XP, getting Reggie Dragos, and all of it was very well used.
I just want to see if they do like a post-game interview with anyone from EG.
Job, but we're going to get a chance to talk to their opponents now, Evil Geniuses, up on stage, as we're going to get a chance to talk to one of the members. You know, whichever one we talk to, I think they're all awesome people. So let's see who it ends up being.
All right, that's right. Evil Geniuses.
Hey, it's
starting out their
Ducky!
day, of course, with an incredible
Let's
victory.
go!
I'm here with Ducky. Congratulations.
I just want to hear him
Start,
talk.
But I think kind of expected for your crew, right? How does it feel being up on the big stage again?
It feels great. It's been a couple months.
His voice is a lot deeper than I was anticipating.
There's a little bit of nerves going into the first set of the tournament, so to be able to win 2-0, it feels really good.
I gotta ask, you're already qualified for Worlds, so I assume that your eyes are on the horizons a little further than this group stage. Obviously, you're looking to win here at NAIC.
Yo, how can I get those
Is there a
Evil
team
Geniuses
you would
leggings?
love to see get that last World spot? Do you have
I'm
any
gonna need a
friends
pair of
that are
those.
playing in the competition today?
Yeah, I'd probably say Extinction. We, as a team, we're definitely friends with them. We scrim with them sometimes, so yeah.
All right, so moving forward, San Francisco, Worlds, you're obviously looking for a big win. You haven't had that huge international win yet. You got so close at EUIC. How do you think this tournament's going to prepare you for that?
I mean, just more LAN experience, I would say. This will only be our 3rd LAN of the year, so. And playing on LAN is so much different than online, so just more practice for that is going to be great.
And I gotta ask, for your team, I feel like I've seen you guys really hot, and even when you're not winning all of your games, I think you guys are extremely solid.
I don't know how old
team.
Ducky is.
What do you think is
But yes,
the
I agree.
difference maker
He looks
for
young.
Evil Geniuses? Like, what sets you apart from every other squad?
I would just say all 5 of our players are very mechanical. If we're playing together as a team, having good macro and stuff, we'll definitely just diff every single team mechanically.
Amazing. And who on your team throws the most besides Roll?
Low-key, probably me. I can't lie.
Who throws the most?
But,
Ducky says
we
him,
don't throw that
himself.
Much, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Ducky, you
true.
don't throw,
guys do not
man.
throw that much. Great start to the day. Congratulations. I can't wait to see
Way
what
to
the rest of the
go,
tournament
EG.
looks like for you. And I hope to see you on Championship Sunday. Good job, dude.
Let's
All right, we're gonna send it back to the booth.
go. 2-0, boys.
Collateral damage to
Let's
Roland
go.
in that interview.
He was throwing people
Unbelievable
around
after
with
just winning
Dapper
the game.
Swine.
But
I
okay,
love
then we got
that.
a chance to talk to Ducky, who obviously was a pretty big part of those games going well, especially that game.
Oh, yeah, so,
number 1.
okay.
But
So
again,
more
also
games will be played
a
off
player who,
stream. So,
is just getting
excuse me,
more
2 of the
lucky
games
to
are
in-person
streamed
experience,
today.
getting a chance
The one
to
we
get
just
some more
watched and then the
experience
one
before
later
they
today.
head
But there will
into
be more
Worlds.
games that
Already
Evil
looking
Geniuses is
quite
playing that
strong.
just will be off
very impressive
stream.
stuff from them, and we
Go follow Evil Geniuses
have
on
some
Twitter.
stream updates.
Well, they'll post
Yes,
updates.
we do. We have a big
But that's
group
gonna be
stage
it for me
for
for now. I'm gonna go have
NAIC
some lunch.
Pokemon Unite.
But chat, I will be back online in about 4.5-ish hours for the other Evil Geniuses streamed game. Very excited to see how we do today. But yeah, so tune in later today for more Pokemon Unite, more Evil Geniuses, more exciting games, and stay tuned for more future collaborations. But guys, take care. I'll see you guys in about 5 hours. Peace!
Their first win, not enough tanks, and no sweat plus Phantom 5 have all lost 3.
Now, one